Welcome to Truth and Transparency. It is Thursday, October 23rd, all day today. This is Lauren's HTC case, Respondent's Declaration and her Witnesses episode. All I had to do was type in, Lauren, I was stalked, and this is what popped up on my screen. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Let's get started.
This is a preview file. For example, use only.
Sitting up or down, it doesn't change the oath, but raise that right hand. Under the penalty of perjury, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. All right, go ahead and have a seat.
This is a preview file. For example, use only.
The only credible witness here today.
For example, use only.
And frankly, is the only credible witness here today regarding her level of emotional distress. I find her testimony at the temporary orders hearing credible, and the testimony at the permanent orders hearing credible.
This is a preview file. For example, use only.
Pretty, petty, perjury kind of goes hand in hand, right? A lot of people want to know some dates, so I want to get this out on the record right here, right now. On August 28th, 2025, Lauren filled out paperwork for an ex parte. Again, August 28th, 2025. On September 4th, 2025, one day before the Crime Con Expo was set to begin, Friday, Saturday, Sunday type thing, a stamp, sealed, judge, boom. Yep, September 4th, 2025. Let me just read something for you guys. Urgent expedited review requested. This petitioner has strong reason to believe that there is an immediate danger and the respondent and her accomplices are planning another confrontation during the 2025 Crime Con Expo in Denver, Colorado on September 5-7. Respondent shall not come within 500 feet of the petitioner, her immediate and extended family, including in-laws, her coworkers, employees, her place of business, or other known professional associates of the petitioner. Neither shall the respondent direct, encourage, or coordinate with other individuals to confront, harass, or communicate with the same, either directly or indirectly, on the respondent's behalf. Specifically, CrimeCon Forum and other social media accounts, e.g. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, etc. This is specific for 2025 CrimeCon Expo, Denver, Colorado, scheduled for September 5th through 7th. I mean, they cannot say 2025 CrimeCon enough in this write-up. I told you that you have to say that you are in fear, of imminent danger, like you're in fear. Well,
it was incredible. There are so many. And then so we're not even touching the surface here. On August 6th, though, things took a new turn for me. I kept ignoring it. That's what I do. Just ignore it. Nothing's wrong. Just do what we do best at Hidden True Crime, make good art. We've done nothing wrong. We're good people. we just keep doing what we do and make good art. That's what we say at Hidden True Crime, make good art, meaning we are quality over quantity. We care. Keep going, keep moving. But on
Okay. With that said, we're going to bring in Hector the projector. If you're new here, this is how this works. You guys are your own judge, jury, all those things. We just bring the receipts. So here we go. Right. Well, we've all heard and seen Lauren's version. I think it's only fair that we get to hear the other side. And this is the declaration filed. Respondents memorandum in opposition to the request for the civil stalking injunction. And 2, this is the pre-hearing brief. So respondent Christina, she'll be known as the respondent, through counsel, last name's redacted there, hereby files this memorandum in opposition to the request for the civil stalking injunction, also known as the requested injunction, and 2, in anticipation of the evidentiary hearing set for September 22nd, 2025, the hearing. Okay. So people want to know those dates. I'm a dates timeline person. There you go. People are like, when was that hearing that we all listened to? Well, September 22nd, 2025 is that date. The court should deny the requested injunction. Petitioner Lauren Mathis. Mathis is a public figure with hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers on YouTube and various and a variety of other platforms. Matthias, is it Matthias? Am I saying that right? Okay, Matthias uses these platforms to speak out on a range of issues, including current events, legal news, true crime, and culture. But Matthias also has a history of using various means to deprive others of the very same rights she exercises. Several individuals have been the subject of cease and desist letters or false police reports. You know that's a crime. The requested injunction is simply Matthias's latest device to shut down speech with which she disagrees. The requested injunction lacks merit under Utah's civil stalking statute. That's Utah Code 78B-7-701. Has not spoken with or otherwise communicated with Matthias directly or indirectly. So the respondent. Since April of 2025. So in that last clip I just played you, when it was something along the lines of is, and the latest thing that happened in August 6th. Okay. So in this declaration right here, has not communicated directly or indirectly since April 2025 when she responded to a string of text messages from Matthias. The respondent has not initiated any communication with Matthias since March of 2025, before their friendship fell out. Matthias's basis the requested injunction on a tangled web of allegations regarding Matthias's own conduct and the conduct of Matthias's other former friends and acquaintances. Matthias provides no evidence that the respondent has ever asked or induced anyone to contact her for any reason, let alone to threaten her. Matthias states that she has subjectively felt fear and emotional distress, but cannot point to any threat or statement that would cause such a reaction in a reasonable person in her situation and her circumstances. Further, the requested injunction is unconstitutional. I love that word. I just have to highlight it. Absolutely. And we're all about the Constitution here. The imposition of enforce of the requested injunction, which is known as a temporary restraining order, I'll be referred to as a temporary order, that was issued on September 5th, 2025, would violate the respondent's rights under the First Amendment to the United States Constitution and the Utah Constitution. Recent Utah case law makes clear that content-based restrictions on speech, even in the civil stalking context, must withstand strict scrutiny. The proposed speech restrictions in the requested injunction fall far short. Similarly, nothing in the requested injunction or supporting materials establishes that the respondent acted with the requisite degree of culpability under recent U.S. Supreme Court case law. For these reasons, the respondent respectfully requests that the court deny the requested injunction. Here's the facts. Matthias relies primarily on 3 declarations in support of the requested injunction. So Lauren filled out 3 declarations in support. Two declarations from her, and a declaration from Grayson. So I'm sorry, she wrote 2, Grayson wrote 1. This opposition relies upon and incorporates by reference the following declarations filed concurrently herewith, along with documents and things. So that the respondent expects to introduce in her defense at the hearing, which was 1, her own declaration, 2, the declaration of somebody else, 3, the declaration of another person, 4, the declaration of another person, and the 5th declaration. So for the sake of brevity, the respondent does not restate the facts from each of the foregoing declarations and instead provides a summary of the key facts as follows. So the respondent has her own declaration and then basically witnesses. And those were 2 of the witnesses we heard from on the last stream. So number 1, Lauren is a public figure with hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube and tens of thousands of followers across various social media platforms. See the respondent's declaration, paragraph 7. The respondent met Lauren in April of 2024. So it was like a year and some change, a couple months before Lauren went and did this, and maintained a friendship for several months thereafter. By March of 2025, the friendship had waned, and the respondent did not initiate any contact with her after that time. In April of 2025, respondent spoke to Lauren about some of her public statements and conduct, which prompted Lauren to make a variety of accusations against and demands to and then there's an exhibit that was there. Respondent has not communicated directly or indirectly since April 2025. Around the same time, Lauren launched a series of accusations and demands against her, other former friends and acquaintances, including blank, and then you're going to see that declaration. Lauren, number 7 here, Lauren also began behaving strangely towards blank and her friends, including without limitation blank, who's going to be known as this person, and blank, by approaching them. So there's, I believe those are the 2 witnesses that we heard from, by approaching them or standing near them in public places with the apparent intent to provoke a confrontation. Damn. Yeah. Walking right up to them, puffing out the chest, baby. Number 8 here, Lauren sent blank and other individuals a cease and desist letter and contacted the police to report that blank and others were following or surveying her and her employee Grayson. So I think that cease and desist went to the Lindsay girl. When in fact it was Lauren and Grayson that were following them. Jesus. Number 9 here. Blank, the respondent, was not present for the encounters between Lauren, Blank, and others in June and July of 2025. Number 10 is at no time did the respondent encourage or suggest that blank, 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 or any other person contact or approach them, meaning to contact or approach Lauren. Respondent's social media posts and public comments since April of 2025 have not been directed at Lauren and were not intended to communicate with Lauren directly or indirectly. Rather, the respondent was addressing her social media subscribers, followers about topics of public interest in the true crime community, including Lauren's statements and conduct. Lauren has maintained her social media presence and continues to engage in public discussion by posting or streaming hundreds of videos since April 2025. So basically, this did not prevent everything that Lauren was going through. This did not prevent her from working and obviously doing everything that she would normally do. That's why I played that clip in the beginning to say, this is what we do here at True Crime. We're good people and we just blah, blah, blah. Okay. Number 14 here. Lauren has used Blank's public statements as a pretext for quashing her speech and removing her from public events such as CrimeCon, which took place September 5th through 7th in Denver, Colorado. As I told you, nothing good happens in Denver. Okay. Denver has a really messed up way of working. Lauren has misrepresented the events at CrimeCon in an attempt to secure the requested injunction and accuse Blank of violating the temporary order. That's accusing respondent. This is the argument. Stalking consists of two elements. Number one, the respondent must intentionally or knowingly engage in course of conduct directed at the petitioner, and two, the respondent must know or act with reckless regard. The course of conduct would cause a reasonable person to fear for the person's own safety or suffer other emotional stress. Those are the elements. So, you have to prove those. Both of them. Not one, both. And the key word for me is a reasonable person to fear for the person's own safety or suffer other emotional distress. A reasonable person. Emotional distress is defined as significant mental or psychological suffering. Both elements must be present before a district court may issue a civil stalking injunction. Here, Lauren cannot prove either element to justify the requested injunction. Further, the Utah Court of Appeals recently reiterated that the First Amendment cabins the court's ability to issue a civil stalking injunction to only specific parameters. Content-based, well, we're going to go down here to this footer. Counterman is instructive to the instance case for many reasons. He was citing a case up there. Foremost, it prompted a change in the stalking statute's definition of stalking, such that a petitioner must show at least recklessness with respect to the effects of the course of conduct. So, key here is content-based restrictions are presumptively unconstitutional and subject to strict scrutiny. The requested injunction seeks content-based restrictions on speech and cannot withstand strict scrutiny. The requested injunction is unconstitutional. Hell yeah, it is. A. Lauren cannot show she is entitled. God, I wish we could just put period right there. Lauren cannot show that she is entitled to the requested injunction under the stalking statute. A civil stalking injunction requires that the petitioner that she must prove stalking as defined in Utah code. That section provides that an actor commits stalking if the actor intentionally or knowingly A, engages in course of conduct directed at a specific individual and knows or is in reckless as to whether the course of conduct would cause a reasonable person, one, to fear for the individual's own safety or the safety of a third individual, or to suffer other emotional distress. A course of conduct, air quotes right there, requires two or more acts directed at or toward a specific. Oh, what was that? Two or more acts directed at or toward a specific individual. So, what would those have been at the time that she did this? At the time that she went to the courts and filed in August, what was she saying? CrimeCon hadn't happened. Okay. So what is she relying upon to get this ex parte? And that's what I've been stressing from the beginning is at the end of the day, Lauren, everything that Lauren said would be up for cross-examination when they would actually have had that hearing. And Lauren didn't go yet on that 22nd of September date. So it is imperative, you guys, if you ever have somebody file a stalking, something like this against you, the first thing that you need to go do is you need to go to the courts and you need to get the ex parte audio recording. You need to see if there was any exhibits used against you, because you are entitled to get those. And you need to hear the recorded ex parte communication that the person had with the judge. Okay, that's the first thing that you need to go do. You need to get the material to see what they claimed against you. Okay. That's what you want to do the moment anybody tries or attempts to serve you with anything. Moving on here. The burden is on the petitioner. The burden means that you bear that burden. So it's not on the respondent to show that she didn't do something. You cannot prove a negative. Lauren, she bears that burden. It's like she's the plaintiff in a way. Okay. They use the terms petitioner and respondent in this manner, but think about the state has the burden of proof to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Well, here, who bears the burden is Miss Lauren. So the burden is on the petitioner to show by a preponderance of the evidence, which is different than beyond a reasonable doubt. Preponderance of the evidence means that you just have to tip the scale 51%. Okay. So it's a lower threshold. So the burden, though, is on Lauren to, by the preponderance of the evidence, the admissible evidence, that stalking of the petitioner or of the petition by the respondent has occurred. So here we go. Number one, Matthias fails to prove a course of conduct. So Lauren's declarations recite only two instances where the respondent communicated specifically with her. And in both instances, Lauren initiated the conversation. Okay. First, at the Maricopa County Courthouse, God, nothing good comes out of Maricopa County. Lauren approached and greeted respondent. Immediately after, Lauren insisted that respondent participate in a lengthy conversation about Matthias's past statements and conduct. Later in the month, Lauren again initiated contact with respondent, this time by text, to make accusations and demand upon respondent. As before, respondent reluctantly participated in the exchange. Respondent could not have known that the communications were unwanted because Lauren initiated them. Indeed, respondent made no attempt to communicate specifically with Lauren directly or indirectly after that April text where Lauren stated that she did not wish to be contacted. So, the respondent was like, okay, I won't contact you. All right. Because Lauren cannot point to specific communications directed at I think this is a mistake. Directed at the respondent. She attempts to rely on many unrelated and irrelevant statements by others' conduct, and others' online posts and public statements. The problem is that none of these satisfy the definition of course of conduct because none of them are directed at or towards Lauren. They're not done towards her specifically. Statements of conduct by blank, blank, and blank, as the Lauren Declaration and the Declaration of Grayson spends considerable time detailing statements and conduct of these other people, blank, blank, and blank. Lauren and Grayson's allegations in their declaration, so everything sums around other people. But even if the allegations are true, they are not, which in parentheses, they are not true. But if they were, let's say, but they are not, well, that's not what we're saying here, but let's say. What is noticeably absent is any proof that the respondent engaged in or influenced any of these events. In some instances, she learned about them afterwards and discussed them publicly later. That is not enough to show course of conduct. Also, something in Ohio, I just want to tell you guys this. You have to show that these two acts or whatever, it's a pattern of behavior, and they have to be close in proximity. So like something can't happen, let's say today, and then 6 months later something happened. That's not going to be close in proximity, at least for Ohio. So every state has their own little wording. All right. Online posts and public comments. The stalking statute is clear that an act or statement does not meet the definition of course of conduct unless it is directed at a specific individual. Now, I'm just trying to help people out, but the @ symbol right now, if you @ somebody, okay, according to Denver, which is going to be overturned, but according to Colorado, if you use the @ symbol, that is you are making contact with somebody if you use the @ symbol. Now, think about this. Like I said, that's going to get blown up here shortly. But the way that YouTube's algorithm works, you are encouraged to use the @ symbol. It's not a way of contacting per se that person, but it's actually a way to more or less infiltrate that person's algorithm. Okay. If you are a subscriber of somebody that I use the @ symbol, and let's say that I @ 15, 20 people or 20 channels, I am more or less trying to infiltrate their algorithm. Okay. And the only people that could actually testify to this, if you want me to be so like technical, is you better go get yourself an expert. Because I don't think that the court should be deeming what the @ symbol is used for, nor should a petitioner or a respondent, because they are not an expert in the field. We may be contractors with Google AdSense or YouTube, in a sense. That's how you get paid if you're monetized. But by no way could I ever say that I am an expert in how YouTube works. And nor should anybody allow, like if you're a lawyer out there and you're dealing with this, you need to object left and right. Okay. Now the hashtags, if you're hashtagging someone's name, what if somebody keeps on hashtagging Lana Oriani everywhere? What's that? You're infiltrating my algorithm. You are making videos so that the people that Google my name see your venom spewed shit. Okay. So if everybody's making videos and they're writing my full government name, writing my full channel name, using sayings that I say, anything like that, The people that are actually being approached in an algorithm way or in a internet new world way is all of you guys, all of the people that are the subscribers that watch the material and the content. So I wanted to explain that because I think it's really important. Okay. So the stalking statute, like I said, is clear that an act or a statement does not meet the definition of course of conduct unless it is directed at a specific individual. Lauren asks the court to parse the contents of respondent's online posts and infer that the respondent intended Lauren to see them. Again, the intent. She has not proved that. Such an exercise is impermissible under the stalking statute and problematic under the First Amendment as discussed below. If there's a 100-person channel that's on TikTok, you have to seek that out. That is not coming up in your algorithm. How was Lauren ever brought to the attention of that channel? And if I was Lauren, I'd be very careful on how I would ever answer that question, because I know how this world works. And I know it would be her own people sending her clips from it and saying, hey, have you seen this yet? And that's when you're getting trolled by your own people, because nobody should be sending you that. They should be ignoring it, and they don't want to be bringing it to your attention to what upset you, especially if no names are said. So Lauren better be careful if this ever gets back out in the world and they're in court, because there's such a thing called discovery, and Lauren's social media, DMs, all that stuff, that would all be discoverable. And I bet you would be lit as a tit to see how many people were sending stuff to Lauren. And then Lauren going and consuming it all of her own free will, upsetting herself, setting herself up. All right. So, and even if it were appropriate to extrapolate the respondent's intent from the content of her posts, the posts that Lauren's referencing show that respondent is not attempting to address specifically Lauren, her family, or directly or indirectly Grayson. The posts are clearly public commentary directed at the public generally, and Lauren's and failure to prove course of conduct as the first required element for this requested injunction. So, second, number 2. Lauren cannot show that that a reasonable person in her circumstances would experience fear or emotional distress. All right, number 2 here. Lauren must show that the respondent knew or was reckless as to whether the course of conduct would cause a reasonable person, 1, to fear for the individual's own safety or the safety of a third person, or to suffer other emotional distress. This second element of the stalking inquiry imposes an objective standard under which the subjective effect of the respondent's conduct on the petition is irrelevant. So, again, objectively, subjectively, the courts must avoid succumbing to a purely subjective analysis, which is inconsistent with the objective standards intent to protect against criminalizing conduct that only an unreasonably sensitive, or paranoid petitioner would find harassing. That is what I call a boom. Okay. Boom. Basically, you're either paranoid or you're extremely overly sensitive. God. Courts applying individualized objective standard have considered such factors as the petitioner's background, the petitioner's knowledge of and relationship with the respondent, and the history of abuse between the parties, and the cumulative effect of the respondent's repetitive conduct. The foregoing factors enumerated in Bard and later in Ragsdale are not exhaustive list, and the courts may examine other relevant factors. So again, her attorney is listing two and citing two cases that they're using as their case law. Here, Lauren cannot show that the respondent knew or acted recklessly in such a way that the reasonable person in Matthias' circumstances would experience fear or emotional distress. Lauren is a public figure who continually exercises her right to speak publicly about her life, her friends, and a variety of other topics. Knowing this, respondent had no reason to expect that Lauren would attempt to quash blank, much less through two false police reports and this proceeding. And I think what that is being redacted is the respondent's speech is what's being redacted there. Whew, Lauren. Further, the Baird factors all weigh strongly against a finding that a reasonable person under these circumstances would experience fear or emotional distress. As discussed above, Matthias's background as a public figure, ex-reporter, and social commentator certainly subjects her to a public scrutiny. It simply is not reasonable that Lauren would expect to continually engage in public discussion, including negative statements about individuals, without encountering speech she disagrees with and she does not like. Again, if you can't take the heat, get your ass out the kitchen. We on a mission. This is what I call it is baby fucking, you're a hypocrite. And the reason I decided to even talk about this is, well, there's two reasons. You cannot weaponize a stalking statute where you're going to use it as a shield and a sword. And you're not going to fuck with our rights. Nobody is. And Lauren's doing just that. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know who her PR person is. I don't think she has one. But she might want to get one. And she might want to make a huge public apology. I mean, she never will. But anybody, I don't understand how after reading this when I'm done and these other declarations that are coming, if people don't see what occurred, then you're a puppet too. You're a sheep. Okay? Unless you can't read and comprehend, when it's all going to be said and done, and you compare everything that took place, you're going to say to yourself, how does a person go to the courts and do what she did? And what type of consequences should come from that? Similarly, the only instances that Lauren identifies where the respondent communicated with her directly or indirectly related to negative statements and conduct directed toward the respondent and others, Lauren has no reasonable basis to expect that a friend or former friend would not discuss interpersonal issues with her, especially where, as here, Lauren initiated the communication every time. Lauren attempts to turn her falling out with the respondent into an injunction with real implications for respondent's civil rights. That is not the purpose of the stalking statute, period. The cumulative effect of respondent's alleged conduct also does not warrant the requested injunction. As discussed above, with no real quote-unquote course of conduct to support her request, Lauren unleashes a torrent of unrelated allegations about others' conduct and respondents' protected First Amendment activity. All of that does not quote unquote count under the stalking statute. Baird and other cases. The degree of culpability required prevents the court from counting events that respondent learned about only later. For example, Lauren has no good faith basis to claim that the respondent intended or acted recklessly with respect to instances in Boise when the respondent was in Europe and learned about only after the fact. This is a big part that everyone's missing. Ready for this? If you go back to right here, when Lauren says, let's talk about this date, August 6th, Boise.
We just keep doing what we do and make good art. That's what we say at Hidden True Crime, make good art, meaning we are quality over quantity. We care. Keep going, keep moving. But on August 6th, 2025, my stalker published a video with photos of my husband's website talking about my husband. Mm-hmm.
Things my ex-friend uses
Wait,
as
hold on.
almost street cred are her husband's
Maybe
credit.
pause it. Okay, we'll go back to the beginning of that. Yeah, let me finish. There was more. My husband, John, you guys know him as my co-host, is a clinical and forensic psychologist. He's licensed in both Utah and Nevada. My stalker in this video questioned his credentials.
You're allowed to. I question everybody. Show me the receipts. Next. So, whoopsies. When Lindsay was on the stand and she said, I know that she was in Europe. How do you know that? Well, because she told me. You guys remember that part? Okay. So, right here, Lauren, that respondent intended or acted recklessly with respect to instances in Boise when respondent was in Europe and learned about this only after the fact. She wasn't in Boise. Wow. A number of other factors not specifically enumerated in Beard also weigh strongly against the requested injunction. First, Lauren already submitted 2 police reports with the same sort of misrepresentations currently before court. In each instance, the police did not substantiate Lauren's claims. Second, nearly all of the statements and conduct that Lauren's referencing or references occurred in public places or online. Lauren claims that they interfered with her quote unquote work, but redacted, and others also work in the true crime space or have been regular attendees of trials, press conferences, and conversations. Blank, 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 and blank have just as much right to be in the public places and participate in public events as Lauren. This is not a situation where respondent has accosted Lauren at home or any other non-public space. Lauren is trying to literally use a stalking statute to silence with words and physically remove people from spaces that she wants to inhibit and be there and do her thing without any type of protest. Or maybe there was not even going to be a protest, but just that person just can't be there. If I'm going to be there, this person can't be. Who the fuck do you think you are? Like, is she an only child? Does she have only child syndrome? The entitlement and the pussville combined is just absolutely unattractive. False police reports. Nothing is more disgusting. Third, Lauren's own conduct cuts strongly against any notion that she feared for her safety. Lauren and Grayson here repeatedly approached, confronted, or attempted to confront blank, blank, blank and others. Not only does this contradict Lauren's testimony that she subjectively feared these individuals or was distressed, but a reasonable person in her circumstances would not engage in the conduct that Lauren has engaged in. Finally, the Matthias declarations and the Grayson declaration on their face deal only with Matthias's alleged subjective feelings. I love that. Oh, your Fifi's got hurt. Ooh. The Beard Court specifically warned against granting an injunction based solely on subjective factors. See Baird's 2014 Utah 08-27. It's paragraph 27. Relatedly, Lawrence makes no attempt to connect the dots between respondents' alleged statements and conduct and the extreme subjective reaction of Matthias that she alleges. In sum, Lauren fails to show the requisite mental state, causation, or objectively reasonable fear or emotional distress. This is number 4. Or I'm sorry, this is B. So, which is the requested injunction is unconstitutional. This is the favorite stuff for me, is what she's asking for. It's just, you're violating not just this broad's, all of ours. Like, if this was to stand, that's what people don't get. When stuff like this happens, it becomes precedent. And we can't have precedent like this. Okay. Lauren is trying to create a precedent that every single human being should have a problem with. If you think that someone's defaming you, go sue them. Do you know you can do that, right? Go sue them. Go sue them. Why didn't Lauren get a lawyer and go file a huge defamation suit? Why? Because that's not what she wanted to do. Otherwise, she would have done that. People do what they want to do, right? She wanted to do exactly what she did, and that should be in everybody's mind, holy shit, that's diabolical. Because she thought that she could do it this way. And you're like, wait, what did she think she could do this way? Violate our fucking rights. Not just the respondents. And that means that she graduated from Delulu University because that's delusional. That's an entitlement that I can't even fathom. Like, it makes my blood boil. And I will debate Lauren Matthias on any case ever, all day, any day, on her turf, on independent turf. Let's go, Lauren. You want to talk true crime? Let's go. I will out-debate you in front of your 320,000 people with a backwards hat on. Let's talk true crime. Let's talk the Delphi case. How about we'll start there? Oh, God. Okay. So she wants to violate our rights. Earlier this year, the Utah Court of Appeals in Ragsdale reiterated the framework for determining whether a requested injunction violates the First Amendment. In quotes, in assessing whether a civil stalking injunction violates the respondent's free speech rights, district courts must, at a minimum, determine whether each provision of a proposed injunction is content-based or content-neutral, and evaluate each provision under the corresponding level of scrutiny. Content restrictions are, quote-unquote, subject to strict scrutiny regardless of the government's benign motive, content-neutral justification, or lack of animus towards the ideas contained in the regulated speech. Such restrictions overcome strict scrutiny only if they are narrowly tailored to serve compelling state interests. In the strict scrutiny context, a restriction is narrowly tailored if it is the least restrictive means to further the articulated interest. A content-based restriction is one that stifles speech on account of its message. In other words, a restriction is content-based if it requires enforcement authorities to examine the content of the message that it is conveyed to determine whether a violation has occurred, or if it is concerned with undesirable effects that arise from the direct impact of speech on its audience or listeners' reactions to the speech. This extends not only to a restriction on a particular viewpoint, but also to a prohibition of public discussion of an entire topic. Additionally, restrictions that appear content neutral on their face are treated as content-based if they cannot be justified without reference to the content of the regulated speech, or if they were adopted by the government because of disagreement with the message the speech conveys. In this case, each provision of the requested injunction is content-based and does not withstand strict scrutiny. It is content-based. Content-based. You know, think about the government. Think about when a crime is committed, and it's the prosecution and the district attorney's job to decide, okay, the police investigate something, and then they say, okay, yeah, here, I'm going to turn over my work to the prosecutor's office and say, hey, we believe that this person violated these codes, which constitutes a felony in the first degree of this, and, listing out all of these things. And they turn over the prosecutor. And then the prosecutor decides, okay, what we're going to charge somebody with. And if we're even going to charge anybody. So in the Karen Reed case, Karen Reed was first charged with second-degree vehicular homicide, or whatever it was. And then all of a sudden, 4 months later, she gets rearrested because they are going to charge her with first-degree murder. Okay. Lauren would have been handed here. This is the stalking the statute in Utah. Look it over. You get to play the prosecutor here, Lauren. What has this girl violated that you can prove that she violated this, this, and this, and you meet the elements, and this is why I should be granted this? So would you want Lauren as your town's district attorney? Would you want her as a town prosecutor? Lauren is not a fair human being. And I wouldn't want her not only as a town prosecutor, as a district attorney. I wouldn't want her anywhere near anything that has to do with criminal justice system. Period. This is irrational, crazy bullshit. Personal conduct. This section requests an order commanding respondent to not stalk Lauren, and then recites and references the statutory definition of stalking. This provision is problematic for three main reasons. First, as a practical matter, it is vague, unenforceable, and redundant of other provisions. Utah law already prohibits stalking. You're not allowed to stalk. So she's commanding not to stalk. Well, the law of the land, you're not allowed to stalk. So Utah, we already prohibit that. And then there would be no way to enforce the order without resort to the courts. The parties are attending the hearing to determine if stalking has occurred. Bingo. Okay. She thinks, I don't know what she thought. I don't know how she covers true crime and doesn't understand this. Did she think that she was never going to be subjected to answer any questions pertaining to how she got that ex parte? Just because she got the ex parte at the end of August, beginning of September, okay, everything that she said would come up in the temporary hearing on September 22nd or whenever she took the stand. And her lawyer has to go over what she testified to in the ex parte in front of, and basically do that all again. And then she's then subject to cross-examination of what she said at the ex parte, because she's going to be reciting it here in the hearing that would have taken place like September 22nd, but the respondent went first. If she does not cancel the date and withdraw, when she would have went back on October 16th, Lauren Matthias has to take the stand and testify to what she testified to at the ex parte when nobody was around, because she's reclaiming those claims. Okay. And then she is then subject to the cross-examination, because one of the parts of this temporary hearing is to see if the ex parte should have ever been granted in the first place. That's why it's really crucial to find out what anybody ever says in an ex parte about you, about the situation. And so I personally believe that what was going to come out and what she claimed at that ex parte, that she was not truthful. That's perjury. That's what happened to me. There is no reason to enter an order that requests the court to do the exact same thing anytime Lauren believes respondent is stalking her. This is especially true since it is not clear what the personal conduct order adds apart from the other provisions. Second, the issuance of the requested injunction in any form would impose on respondents' civil rights and violate the First Amendment, because Lauren relies on respondents' protected speech to establish stalking. Basically, Lauren is asking the court to agree with Lauren's public speech and disagree with the respondent's public speech. That it's okay for her to publicly speak, but respondent is not allowed to publicly speak. Such a restriction would be content-based because it is justified only with resort to respondent's message, with the court adopting Lauren's viewpoint, punishing the respondent, and in essence removing an entire topic, which is Lauren's own statements and conduct, from public discussion. There is no compelling government interest in favoring one speaker over another, and a broad, so broad as to be meaningless restriction on stalking is far from being narrowly tailored enough to withstand state or strict scrutiny. Third, the personal conduct order in the requested injunction mirrors almost exactly the one that the Utah Court of Appeals reviewed in Ragsdale. The Ragsdale court held that the provisions purporting to bar conduct that would, quote unquote, annoy, harass, or cause distress to the petitioner were content-based and could not withstand strict scrutiny. Meaning, if you want to speak about something, it's very simple. You have the right to speak on it. I have the right then to speak on what you're speaking about. How the fuck does anybody not understand cause and effect? Did you not learn it in grade school? Okay, I value my education here. And if you do something like, hey, I want to talk about the Idaho 4 case, and these are my viewpoints, you have the right to say, I'm going to go talk about the Idaho 4 case, and I'm going to talk about how crazy Lana's viewpoints are. I couldn't possibly imagine me saying to myself, oh my God, I cannot believe that that person did a live broadcast about my viewpoints. How fucking dare them? This is totally distressing me. So your own actions, Lana, caused you to be distressed because you wanted to talk about the Idaho 4 case and what you thought. And that caused people to then talk about what you publicly stated. I could never be that dumb to think that like, oh my God, can you believe this? What the fuck? I cannot believe that you would ever want to talk about what I'm talking about. And then go crying to the courts and expect the courts to fucking do what they did. Nobody's got time for this. Lauren clearly does. How does Lauren have time for this when you have 320,000 subscribers that you should be grateful for your platform? You should continue to use your platform to however you were using it. If you were just such good people and you ignore all the blah, blah, blah. This girl has no idea what stalking is. And she wants to say that she always sides with the victims and we're victims first, pro, blah, blah, blah. Anybody that has ever gotten a restraining order due to their ex beating the living shit out of them, okay, coming home drunk and doing crazy, wild things to them, and that they need protection immediately, you pissed all over those victims, Lauren. Shame on you. Disgusting behavior. The court reasoned that the additional prohibition against annoying or causing distress could potentially enjoin respondent from talking about petitioner to others. The court was concerned that, for example, any appearance that respondent might make before the local governing authorities to complain about the presence of a petitioner's business in the neighborhood could likely cause petitioner emotional distress or would, at the very least, annoy her. You guys know that the whole point of protected speech is you cannot prevent, it's prior restraint. You cannot prior restrain somebody. You have to wait until somebody says something to see if what they say merits something. Okay? That's what freedom of speech is all about. Is that you cannot put prior restraints on me. You have to wait until I do something in terms of what I'm saying. And like if it is defamatory, then you go and you would sue me. She wants to talk about these civil actions that she can take, interference with this and interference with that. Exactly, Lauren. If somebody is contractual interference, if you're saying that somebody's contacting people that you're doing business with to interfere with contractual relationships, Lauren, you don't go and get the stalking injunction. I thought you covered true crime. I thought you know what you cover. If people are defaming you, if people are trying to get in between your custodial relationships, custodial interference, contractual interference, frauding you, you don't go and get a stalking injunction. That's not going to prohibit that person from doing what? Defaming you? What do you think that person's going to I'm going to send this clip to the police because I have this temporary order and you're going to go and arrest them. What? Well, God, you start to that's crazy. Oh, I'm good. This is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild when you want to talk about and see, this is the problem too. The problem is that if this isn't broken down and explained, then you have 400,000 people that watch Lauren's video, okay? And think about this, if this was ever go to like a jury, which it doesn't, thank God. If this was ever to be decided by a jury, okay, you'd have people saying that Christina is guilty. That's why it scares me about juries in this day and age, because the human population is absolutely woo. I swear you should have to take some type of a test. Common sense, folks. Common sense. It's not so common. No contact. Lauren asked the court to bar the respondent from communicating directly or indirectly with her and others. But this section must also be read in conjunction with other assistance needed section, where Lauren asked the courts to order the respondent to cease and desist any and all online activity and communications, direct or indirect, relating to or referencing Lauren. Again, this restriction is content-based because it purports to quash speech on an entire topic. In this way, the no contact order in the requested injunction is distinguishable from the no contact order upheld in Ragsdale and Towner versus Ridgway. The upshot of both those cases is that a stalking injunction that prohibits communicating with or to a person may be permissible where a prohibition on communicating about a person is not, or at the least must withstand strict scrutiny. The Ragdale court summarized that Towner held that, in quotes, the civil stalking injunction did not violate the First Amendment because it enjoined the respondent from communicating directly to the petitioner, but did not enjoin him from speaking about the petitioner. The court further noted that in Ragsdale and in Towner, the no contact provisions, quote unquote, prohibited any communication, either direct or indirect, from the respondent to the petitioner or other identified individuals. As with the provisions at issue in Towner, nothing in the no contact order precluded respondent from expressing his opinions, political or otherwise, about the presence of petitioner in his neighborhood to others not identified by the no contact order, end quote. Stay away order. Lauren was asking for a stay away order. She was asking for no contact. She listed everything that she wanted. So Lauren asked for an order that the respondent stay away from her home, work, school, and vehicle. But as with the no contact order, Lauren modifies the form of the language and requests an order that respondent must stay away from online forums and other social media accounts. And I'm going to show you what they mean by that. When Lauren did her bullshit here, she clicked the box for other and said online forums and other social media accounts, e.g., which is TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, etc., etc. This is like a police officer going to get a search warrant, okay? And Lauren just thinks that, hey, this is why she probably doesn't understand anything to do about the Idaho 4 case because she doesn't understand. She just doesn't get it. She just fucking doesn't get it. Girl, can you imagine if a police officer wrote up a search warrant for this is what they said in the search warrant. Judge, we would like to search all of Lauren Matthias's online forums that she's in and other social media accounts. We don't have to list any. We're just going to search TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, etc. Sure, yeah, let me sign that. Have a good day. And then puts 2025 CrimeCon Expo, Denver, Colorado, scheduled September 5th through 7th. This was the purpose of it. The purpose of all of this was to make a huge spectacle at CrimeCon and try to discredit the people that she listed because of the bigger boom that's coming. Okay. Lauren tried to discredit these human beings for when and if a time comes that these human beings actually have something, some evidence out there that of what Lauren has done in the past, and that you're trying to muddy the waters of these individuals to discredit them for in the future. That's what this is all about. Look at this. Look at this, etc. This extra requirement is problematic on multiple levels. First, the restriction is content-based and cannot withstand strict scrutiny. On its face, the restriction appears to ban Respondent from the internet. Just ban her from the internet. In one swath, Matthias hopes the court will eliminate Respondent's ability to frequent all online public spaces. This ask alone unmasks. I love that word now. Let's unmask a motherfucker. Unmasks Lauren's goal of eliminating Respondent's ability to speak out on issues of public interest. The ban would be akin to following Lauren's a popular pulpit in a public park while prohibiting others who disagree with her from the same public spaces. I thought Lauren claims to be an independent journalist. Independent journalist. She's not a mainstream puppet. She's independent journalism, right? Independent journalism. You know what's the best silencer, you guys? Receipts. Giving human beings the material to decide for themselves. That is the best silencer. And that's exactly what I did in the past. Hey, you follow so-and-so and you support so-and-so off of what they just did to me? Here, these are all the receipts. You can continue to support whoever you want, but you should know the facts. And then you should make your decision off the facts. The First Amendment squarely forecloses this sort of preference. Just because you have more followers, just because you think you're more popular because of your numbers, it does not, you're not treated differently by the Constitution. You're not treated differently. You're not supposed to be treated differently by the courts. Second, to the extent that Lauren's request is meant to be interpreted more narrowly, it is unconstitutionally vague because it does not put Respondent on notice of the extent of her ban. See Greenwood versus City of North Salt Lake. Holding that a restriction is unconstitutionally vague, where it does not provide adequate notice of what the restriction covers. We're just banning you from these platforms in some The imposition of the requested injunction in any form would violate respondent's First Amendment rights because Lauren relies upon protected free speech to try to establish the elements of stalking. As such, any restriction is content-based because the court can find the necessary elements only by examining the contents of the speech and by preferring Lauren's speech over respondents. Similarly, each proposed provision of the requested injunction fails to pass First Amendment muster. The requested injunction is unconstitutional. In conclusion, Lauren is allowed to not like what respondent has said about her, but Lauren falls far short of the statutory elements required under the stalking statute, and respondent's right to free speech forecloses the requested injunction. Respondent respectfully requests that the court deny the requested injunction. Respondent reserves the right to seek fees under Utah Code within the time frame provided under Utah Rule of Civil Procedure 73. Oh, daddy! Dated this 19th. Yep. Fees. Yep, you're going to pay for my lawyer fees after all this is said and done because of what you done. Could that have been an influence on why Lauren was like, man, maybe I should back off of this? Don't. No, here it is. Now we're going to move on to the declarations of the two witnesses. But first, I want to show you guys something. Welcome to Truth and Transparency. Good morning. Cheers. Call in, and I got the 911 call. There was a call in while I was in and doing work in Moscow, Idaho, as well as other parts of North Idaho. While I was there,
This is the call that took place for
Lauren, Lauren, this is somebody stalking you, and this is somebody trying to get you swatted by a police department. Okay, this is what this looks like.
transparency purposes. This call will be placed here on its own little thread. Everybody that knows and watches as everything that I document. This is the call. This is truly unbelievable, but.
Hello?
Hello, police fire.
Yes, this is not an emergency, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I left a message for Officer Fry as well. I just wanted to let you guys know that there is a crazy YouTuber in Idaho right now. She's fixated on the Idaho 4 case and vindicating Brian Koberger. And she just put up a live stream of 2 hours ago where she's walking around the house, knocking on witnesses and neighbors' doors, trying to talk to them. And
she's walking around the
I said
house.
1122 Kings
Yeah.
Drive, yes. She said she wants to get the camera so close to Ian's face she could see his it. She has, I don't know if you're aware of her channel, it's Truth and Transparency. And like I said, she's a convicted stalker. But she stalks other YouTubers. She gets fixated on things and goes absolutely crazy. If this woman knocked on my door, I would be terrified. But she stalks the neighbors before accused them of calling in noise complaints, put their address and everything on her channel for her 40,000 subscribers. She is if this woman knocked on my door, I would be terrified. Like, she's that mentally ill and deranged. But I left a message for Mr. Fry because that's all I need to do. I tried to email him a link to this woman's page in this video, but it wouldn't let me. So I wanted to call the non-emergency just so somebody would know that this person is in that area and walking around talking to witnesses and knocking on witnesses and the neighbors' doors. And she's not a journalist. She thinks she's a lawyer. She's not.
Okay.
Come on. She's a crazy person, and she's there now for. I guess I don't keep up with the case as much as I did when it first came out, but she is trying to vindicate Brian Koberger.
Do you know her actual name?
Yes, it is Alana, Lana, Oriani, Orani.
And do you know how old she is?
She is 42, I believe. Well, she might be a little younger than I am, so maybe 40 to 42 range, something like that.
And you said she's live streaming and walking around right now?
2 hours ago. It's up on her channel. It's active. Her channel is called Truth and Transparency. I didn't catch the live stream.
Okay, so she's not live streaming anymore now?
No, not right this minute.
Okay.
But she will be. Trust me. She can't help herself. Like, she's going to show every address, every person that lives in, every person that talks to her, every person she is nuts. Completely nuts. And invasive. And has no respect for personal space, personal anything. And just the thought of her knocking on people's doors around them, it's just sick to my stomach. Because she's got them, and these people have had to contact for their information to be taken down, and trying to reason with this woman because she's trying to, vindicate Ryan Koberger for some fucking god awful reason. She's nuts. But she works cases on YouTube, and she does this with every case. She did it with Chris White. I don't know if you know about that big case in Colorado. Any case she gets fixated on, the person who did it, she tries to vindicate them.
Okay. Could I have your name for my report, ma'am?
I'm so scared to give you my name for her to have my actual real name.
Right, I understand. I could mark you non-disclosed. That way, an officer could get your name and still get in contact with if they need it, but it won't show up on the public record.
Okay. Then, this is trying to get somebody swatted. Okay, swatted. While I was reporting in Moscow, Idaho in January when I was there in 2023. Okay, next, check this out.
Did this to me and my son. I'm gonna wait for everybody.
Okay, so wait, hold on one second. So, Lauren, if you want to talk about what you've been through, and bring up wild shit.
Okay. I think for a job.
Okay, I was on a live
I
stream
don't think that's why.
back in January of 2022. I was reading a couple comments.
You guys, I will never forget.
Here you go.
Who's here? Don't you touch that door. No, it's not the pizza man. Stop it. I'm checking the cameras first.
What?
Who is it?
Okay, right there, the person that rang my doorbell says, if you have your earbuds in, I'll rewind it so you can hear it. They say, hey, sorry, I'm broke down outside your house. And can I use your phone? So here you go. You can listen to it again.
First.
What?
Who is it? Sorry. Sorry, we can't. Nope. Have a good day. I'm going to call the police for you. Get over here. Get over here. We're calling the police.
Why?
Okay. My friend had just left to go to the store really quick. We were just talking about ordering a pizza. And it's been one of my best friends since, like, I don't know, 13, 14 years old. Anyways, and as soon as he left to go, then this doorbell rang. And I live on a cul-de-sac. And I don't live on like a main street. So if you were going to someone's house and you broke down, you would just go to the person's house and they would help you out. There's no reason for anybody to ever be on a cul-de-sac street, in a community, and for you to say that you need help, because wherever you would have been going, you would go to them. So I knew that this was not, like, I knew that they were, like, something was off immediately.
Why?
Because he's lying about him breaking down in front of our house.
Whose house? I'm breaking down whose house? I'm breaking down whose house?
I'm breaking down.
Did you guys hear that?
That one was my iPad.
Exactly. You hear this? Get over here. What? What do you need? I already called the police. Leave my house. What?
They screamed out to me and said, I am a process server for the court, for the common pleas court, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't really hear it. And so I'm like, what? Then I have a package for you. Well, you tell me that you're broken down and that you need help. Then you tell me this and you think I'm going to open up my door. I didn't open it the first time. Texted and told so-and-so to call the police. Then they say this. Okay.
Who is it?
I'm scared.
We don't know who you are. I'm sorry, but you're scaring my son. Okay. You need to leave now.
Okay. So this was all set up ahead of time by a woman that ran the Unmasked YouTube channel. She sent a felon to my house to process serve me. Did it on a live broadcast on purpose. Okay. So that then it could be used against me in a custody hearing.
Oh.
You can leave at our door.
You need to leave.
You can leave at
I'm calling the police.
Please don't go on.
I'm not going anywhere. Stand there.
Stand right here.
Go upstairs.
No.
Go upstairs. Go upstairs in your bedroom. Hurry up.
I want to stay with you, Mom.
It's okay. Come here. It's okay, baby. Come here. It's okay.
So scared, Mom.
It's okay.
That's an iPad.
It's okay.
That's an iPad.
Stand there.
Okay.
Go. Stay there. Stay over there. Come here.
I left everything on. As you can see how my screen is split here with my face is on the right-hand side and then my camera's like that. That means I'm on from two different ways. And so I'm on with my phone. Okay. And I wanted to leave my camera on. So in case anything happened, I had a camera right here. I have cameras over my house. I have a camera inside my house. But this is what happened to me because I spoke out against a bigger channel and I exposed all the lies that they were telling all of their paid members and subscribers and stuff like that. I think I had at the time, if you go and you looked at this, it was like 3,000 subscribers. Lauren, your child didn't go through anything. Okay? This is a child going through something because of what a person on the internet who saw me as a threat and a competitor of theirs, okay? Because I said I was going to bury their channel. I'm going to bury your channel. I'm going to bury your channel with the truth. Because all of your shit, you're a liar. And that's it. Now that channel can't even but that person went out and got a fake ass stalking shit. Never met the person in my life. I never met this broad ever in my life. Ever. Never met this person. Do this. Jealousy. And then, but it was all designed because the purpose of all of this was to either warn me saying, hey, if I don't back off, okay, I'm going to team up with your ex and help them so that you lose custody of your kid, motherfucker. Oh, really? Yeah. Now that's real life. That's interfering with custodial relationships. This is interfering, calling people that I do like experts and shit. This is absolutely fucking crazy. Lauren, you have triggered me because you lied. You did the same thing that this person did to this girl. Christina, you did it. You went out and got a fake ex parte. That's what I was being served with, a fake ex parte. I've never met this person in my life. But I had all the receipts and I put it all out there. And it was, they bought all their subs and they lied about everything and they had fake sources. And she kept telling people that her sources were people that were close to the Nicole Kessinger and that shit. She goes live now, 40 people watch. Boom, bitch, sit down. That's what you do. There was 16 of these people that came for me. 16 strategically, systematically. So Lauren, you're pathetic. You're pathetic. And your kid didn't go through anything. Your kid hasn't gone through anything. Your kid wasn't at anything. You don't travel with him. You don't go to cases with him. Fuck all the way off. Now, moving on to the declaration. She said, I have all the money in the world. I'll be able to bury Lana because I have all the money. Okay. Yeah. How's that working out for you now? Handle that shit. I've been dealing with all of this, though. It is 2025. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Kara says, LOL, Lana, 40 subs. Damn, you did it. That was a real stalker. That's what a real stalker looks like. That's what those people were. They were calling the FBI on me for child solicitation. They were making false police report after they're saying I'm poisoning with oxy. What? Literally, I have a 20-page police report here of somebody going and saying that I poisoned their dog with oxy in Denver, Colorado. I live in Ohio. I don't go to Colorado. I fucking hate Colorado. Despise Colorado. The fucking crazies of the world. So, but yeah, it was like, if I stopped talking about them, that they said all my problems would go away. I said, I don't have any problems. And then within 6 months, I'm getting served to lose custody of my child. I said, oh, that's what you meant. There was no problems in my life, but they made problems. Now that's some fucked up shit, right? So Lauren, suck a dick. Suck a bag of dicks. Christina's declaration brings it Lindsay's declaration and Jay's declaration. So Christina says that she is over the age of 18 and competent to testify in the matter. I have personal knowledge of the facts herein. I make this declaration in conjunction with the petition for a civil stalking injunction. Specifically, but without limitation, this declaration addresses the allegations contained in the Declaration of Grayson. The background between Christina and is she met Christina in April of 2024. Okay. Lauren holds herself out as an ex-reporter, journalist, and podcaster, dealing primarily with the true crime cases. Lauren is a public figure. She and her husband run a YouTube channel, Hidden True Crime. I mean, she just thinks it's herself, but yeah. She has approximately 317,000 subscribers. Then she said, oh, it's 320. Well, it's 321 now. So good job, Lauren. You gained 1,000 subs off of this ordeal. But I promise you, over the course of all of this, that number may never go lower, but it's not going to gain exponentially. I've seen it happen where the person that tried to take me down, they bought all their subs. Like literally, I can prove that, and that's what I was showing. There's a website out there. You go to Social Blade. I don't know if it's still up, but I use Social Blade to track the payments that were going through to this person's online YouTube channel to show that all of her subs all subbed at the same exact time on certain days. Okay. And not only was she buying subs, but she was buying comments and likes. And so I showed that. I also showed all of her lies. And to this day, in the past, since 2022, no more subscribers. Also, after you go over 100,000 subscribers, you get what you call like the YouTube plaque or whatever. the platinum, whatever it is. Well, guess what also happens? You can't get that 100,000 person plaque if you buy subscribers. So show your plaque. They couldn't do that, could they? And again, I'm talking about this other channel. So, but yeah, 321,000 subscribers. Told this to over 100-person TikTok. What a dumb business decision. Personal life decision, just so stupid. For several months, I communicated regularly with Lauren and we became friends. Throughout that time period, I noticed certain red flags that suggested that Lauren's credentials and public image were inaccurate. Damn. For example, Lauren would describe to me interpersonal problems with her friends and in-laws based on accusations of theft and fraud. Oh my God. I also learned information that caused me to question Lauren's ethics in obtaining and handling confidential information. Holy shit. Something big in our industry here is an investigative journalist. You have sources, and this is why I said, and I stand by it, that Turtle Boy needed to be careful there because Karen Reed was his number one source. And I just hope that he just ends talking about all of that. Because as an independent journalist, you're supposed to protect your sources. Okay. You're supposed to be, ethical in the way that you obtain things, and you're going to be vetting things. But, whew. So basically, Christina seems to have information. I also learned information that caused me to question her ethics in obtaining and handling confidential information. 12, during this time period, multiple people expressed concern about Lauren's conduct. At approximately the same time I became friends with Lauren, I also became friends with blank and blank, who had been friends with Lauren for a year prior. I also became friends with another woman who were acquaintances of Lauren, including Jay. So I communicated with, traveled with, and was invited to events with Lauren from April of 2024 through the winter of 2024. Lauren also invited me to her house while I was on a work trip in blank. Lauren also invited me and my family to her home to swim in her pool when we were driving from blank. My friendship with Lauren ends 15, 16, 17. Lauren asked me to perform some graphic design work for her and her husband's businesses, which I did at a significantly discounted price given our friendship. By January of 2025, my friendship with Lauren was beginning to wane and we communicated less frequently. I sent Lauren a final invoice in March of 2025 for the graphic design work. A copy of the invoice and correspondence related to my rate is expected to be offered in my defense as Exhibit D1. By that point, I was no longer communicating on a regular basis with Lauren or spending time with her as a friend. On April 9th, 2025, I saw Lauren at the courthouse in Maricopa County, Arizona, after Lauren called out to me to get my attention. Lauren ran towards me, calling my name, and with her arms out, signaling that she wanted a hug. While hugging Lauren, I stated that I had read some of the negative statements Lauren had made about me and others, and that I had seen evidence of her efforts to harm others and their businesses. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is exactly what I saw that this channel was doing to other people. And I was speaking out about that. When I was putting out all the receipts on that channel, I was infuriated for actually other people out there. Okay. Because I saw evidence of, Linda, It's a Crime. What a sweet woman, right? Well, that channel's business manager was saying how their next channel to take down was It's a True Crime with Linda, or It's a Crime Linda, whatever her channel name is. And so I was like, hey, I think that you might want to see this. Here you go. It's crazy. Then things like, oh, I'm going to get you taken off of Dateline, or things that I'm going to, all of these things that people were doing that this person and her people were doing to these other people. Like, this is ridiculous. That is what you call contractual interference. And there's messages, and I was just like, here, you might want this. You know, you're wondering why Dateline's not going to have you on. Well, here's a pretty good indication why. Here you go. I got people contacting me because they think hey, what kind of dirt do you have on so-and-so? I need anything that's bad, or if they're using racial slurs. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, run along. So this is just, when people call you out on your shit, you can own it, or you can say that's not true and here's this. But what I can tell you should not do is go and run to the courts and lie to the courts and get ahead of something. And that's what she did. That's what Lauren did. Remember, this declaration is under the penalty of perjury. So Lauren here, being two-faced, is running towards her, wanting a hug. Then, while hugging her, I said, hey, I've seen what you said about me, man. Why do you want to hug me? Lauren insisted that we talk right then and there, even though I was hesitant because Lauren appeared to be in an elevated fight, flight, freeze state. Lauren stated that we needed to talk immediately because she wanted to be alone and her assistant Grayson never leaves her side. During that conversation, Lauren acknowledged that some of the negative statements that I had seen were true and then attempted to justify them. Because Lauren does not always accurately represent verbal conversations, I recorded the conversation. Good job. That's out of Lana's book right there. Yeah, I don't trust your ass. I agree with Kara on that one. Unfortunately, another penalty of perjury doesn't mean anything, and the court should change that. Moving on here. After our friendship ended, Lauren initiated repeated contact with me to make accusations I knew to be false and to demand I stop speaking about her, even with mutual acquaintances. Like, I don't want you talking to these people. It's not even just online. I don't want you to conversate with these people. Wow. After Lauren's initial contact, I exchanged several texts with her on April 21st, 2020, between April 21st and April 22nd, 2025, regarding her accusations and demands. The texts are expected to be offered in my defense as Exhibit D2. Lauren blocked and unblocked me multiple times. That sounds like a relationship, you know? Block, unblock, block, unblock. Multiple times so that she could state her demands and accusations without allowing me any response. Lauren's last text to me was on April 22nd, 2025. It again made false accusations about my conduct and demanded that I refrain from speaking publicly about her. I have not initiated contact with Lauren since March 12th, 2025, when I contacted her for a referral for my neighbor. I have not communicated with Lauren directly or indirectly since April 21st, 2025. However, Lauren unblocked me in August of 2025 to remove things from one of our conversations. Oh my God, I got to tell you guys about this. Okay, ready. 101. Lana helping the world out there. If you are in the DMs in a group text message, in the DMs on Facebook, I do not ever recommend this. And I would kindly suggest to all of you to remove yourselves. Okay. And don't ever do it in again. Okay. This is the worst you could ever do. Next. If anybody ever contacts you and asks you to, hey, can you unblock me? I'm really sorry. Like, hey, like, let's make this work, blah, 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 whatever type of crap. Listen, it's all crap. They need you to unblock them. Okay. They need you so that they can go and into then the DMs and start deleting their messages from their side. Okay. And when they will usually do that is in the middle of the night when you're sleeping. And then you wake up and you have notifications that there's 74 deleted messages. Okay. Now, so just don't do it. Don't let somebody back in for them to delete. But guess what? At the end of the day, if you truly ever needed to get that information back, if your phone was ever, if you can get their phone to be Cellbrite, if it can be downloaded, possibly even from the iCloud, you can get those deleted messages. But yeah, anybody that wants you to be in 3-way chats, 4-way chats, group, mod, whatever, no, no. And all you have to do is when someone tries to add you to a group, remove yourself immediately. And I would actually write in there before you removed yourself is, I did not give you permission to add me to this group. Write that in first and then remove yourself. Trust me. Moving on. So Lauren does the typical, this is a move out of 2020, 2022. Okay. So Lauren says, hey, I have not communicated with her directly or indirectly until she unblocked me in August of 2025 to remove things from one of our conversations, and I received an alert that she had done so. God, you're sick. Also, on June 5th, 2025, I traveled to Arizona to attend portion of the Lori Daybell trial. I was in Arizona for only 24 hours. While seated between blank and another friend in the waiting area, I saw Lauren wave at me in an attempt to engage. I ignored her and did not respond. This was another example of Lauren initiating contact with me, not the other way around. Grayson tried to call me twice on June 10th, 2025. What? But I did not answer or return her call. Now, this is the girl that's crying. June 10th, 2025. Oh my gosh. An image depicting the missed calls is expected to be offered in my defense as Exhibit D3. Grayson also sent me a lengthy text message saying that she felt sad that I had my feelings hurt and wanted to have a private conversation. I did not respond. A copy of these texts is expected to be offered in my defense as Exhibit D4. Oh. Lauren's conduct towards others. Since April of 2025, I have learned of multiple instances where Lauren has behaved strangely and obsessively towards my friends, who are also former friends and acquaintances of her. On April 11th, 2025, Lauren sent blank a cease and desist letter containing numerous demands aimed at curbing blank's speech. The cease and desist letter is expected to be offered in my defense as Exhibit DF. Notwithstanding the cease and desist letter, Lauren has taken purposeful steps to contact and communicate with blank. Blank describes these in detail in her declaration submitted concurrently here. That footnote, by the way, says that Lauren sent a similar letter to another mutual acquaintance, like a cease and desist. Now, the Lauren declaration describes 2 alleged instances in Boise involving blank, 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 and others. I was in Europe when this occurred, and I learned about them only later. Blank, blank, and blank recount what occurred in their declarations submitted concurrently here with. So Lauren basically told the courts that the people that she is referring to in Boise, who are her accomplices, that basically Lauren is saying that Christina used third parties to harass, annoy, threaten, do all this stuff at her behest, like on her behalf. And that's why when we were listening to that court proceeding, you heard the question, has the respondent ever had you do X, Y, and Z? No, never. Have you ever seen this person do that themselves? No. Okay. You become paranoid of your own activity and behavior because you know all the stuff that you've done. Okay. And Lauren thinks that everybody else knows, or they will soon learn of it. I have since received the Boise Police Department report, known as the report, along with copies of the videos Lauren submitted to the Boise police. Some of the videos were of my posts online, even though I was not in Boise when the alleged incidents occurred. In the report, the officer stated that Lauren provided me with videos of 2 different incidences, including the incident at Bitter Creek Ale House. I did not see any intimidating or threatening behavior in those videos or in the videos. At no point did I ask, encourage, or facilitate any of my friends or anyone else to contact Lauren. Indeed, in a majority of instances, Lauren herself provoked the encounter with me in and before April and recently at CrimeCon and my friends. Lauren and Grayson have engaged in a pattern of entering spaces where I already am. Next, where are we at here? Matthias's efforts to prevent public discourse. Now, this is where we're getting into what I believe is if you're trying to get in front of something. As is evident from the Lauren declarations and Grayson's, Lauren's main issue is with public statements that I have allegedly made about her. Lauren mischaracterizes many of these statements or describes them vaguely to misconstrue them or present them out of context. Ugh, I just know that all too much. For example, Lauren alleges that I mocked a police officer when in fact I merely pointed out inaccuracies in what the officer told me, as is my right. Oh, you know, me and Lauren always find ourselves on the opposite end of this. Lauren sucks off the cops and the government narrative. That includes prosecutors. Like, that is not called independent journalism. When you give somebody a platform to just continue to push a narrative versus ask questions that, hey, I'm going to ask you some hard questions here. They should be able to answer it. You should never have to shy away from asking somebody the questions. Hey, this is what people are saying. This is what they think. So here, I got some questions for you. Okay. That's more my approach, which is, if we look at this, clearly Christina was pointing out, wow, this guy was telling me this and he's wrong. And God knows what he was telling her. Wait, what's wrong about that? Well, I can tell you what Lauren was trying to do. Lauren was trying to show to the courts that Christina has no respect and for law enforcement. And to already create this be against Christina because she hates law enforcement. I've seen it. Pathetic. Lauren mischaracterizes many. Okay, I said that. I think I should bring up what the example was because it's important. Okay. The example was, I couldn't even believe this myself, but this police officer told Christina that you are not allowed to screenshot your own text messages with somebody in the state of Nevada. So like, let's say that me and Mary P are having text exchange. And I live in, and that Mary P lives in Nevada, even though she doesn't, but let's just say she does. And I live in, that doesn't matter where. And we're texting, and I'm just starting to screenshot my text with her. Okay. So I start screenshotting my text with her. And the police officer said, if you screenshot your own text messages with a Nevada resident, that's a crime if you put them out publicly. What? This is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. What the fuck are you talking about? I literally could not believe myself when I was listening to this interaction. I was like, wait, what is he saying? He thinks, this police officer thinks it's a crime to take a screenshot of your own phone and put out messages publicly? How is that a crime? No, this is what the police officer got confused with. If you're in a two-party state versus a one-party state to record somebody, meaning like on the phone, record them. Yeah, you can't record somebody if you need two parties to consent to a recording. Okay, that has nothing to do with text messages. That you send me a text message and I screenshot my own phone, and you're saying that I'm committing a crime doing that, and that if I publicly put that out, again, unbelievable that would be ever portrayed by anybody, and that's a crime. It's not a crime. That's not even true. So anyways, Lauren omits any discussion of the context of that video, which was that I was contacted by blank police department after Lauren contacted police in June of 2025 to report that I and others were sharing private communications we had with Lauren. I expect to offer, in my defense, a copy of blank's police report as Exhibit D7, in which the officer states that he or she did not find extortion. Oh my God, she said that she was being extorted. Oh my God. I can't breathe. What? There's extortion. Oh God, what? Hold on one second. My God. No text messages were intercepted, and and Lauren's private messages were not hacked. Oh my God. I'm sorry. This is wild. Wow. Yeah. Extortion. Oh boy. Okay. The Lauren declaration describes my public comments as targeted and aimed at, quote unquote, trying to get people to identify who I am to come after me. What? This is not true. Lauren also alleges that I posted an emoji on a podcast she participated in, quote unquote, to let people know I was watching. The podcast was live and open to public comments, as Lauren's declaration seems to acknowledge. I did not post the emoji to communicate specifically with Lauren, but to sign in and participate in the public chat. An image of the emoji is expected to be offered in my defense. This is hilarious. Is it the peen emoji? Absolutely. This is absolutely crazy. A comment section of a video. This is over a comment section in a fucking goddamn video. You guys remember hearing that doorbell ring? You guys remember hearing that pounding on the door? And a guy that committed arson is at my fucking house delivering me as an ex-felon in an arson case that the petitioner against me sought out and said, oh my God, yeah, this guy is great. This is who we want to deliver this. Sickening. A fucking emoji. Wow. As the Lauren declaration demonstrates, Matthias's takes issue with any public post that I make about or related to her, and any effort I make to investigate and or report on issues of public interest relating to her. Some of my online content provides information about Lauren and to the general public. My statements are not directed at her, Grayson, or her family. I believe that Lauren's goal is to quash my efforts to investigate and report truth and exercise my free speech rights under the First Amendment. For example, Lauren often makes claims regarding her husband's credentials as a psychologist and an adjunct professor at the University of Nevada, UNLV, baby. However, I learned that UNLV has no record of her husband's serving as an adjunct professor, which appears to acknowledge in her declaration. I created a video discussing this issue and posted it for public information. I also believe that Lauren is attempting to prevent me from attending public events such as criminal proceedings and true crime conventions. This is so crazy, man. This is somebody that is literally going around to murder cases, covering them, talking about these victims and openly. But yes, I'm all for the victims. My channel is a victim channel. I'm a victim advocate. Well, Richard Allen going to prison for the rest of his life, that we have another victim. How Richard Allen was subjected to isolation, in a prison before he had his day in court for, 9 to 13 months straight. Yeah, that's not how we get convictions in the United States of America, Lauren. But now I see why you don't get it. Your declaration and your lawless behavior to go and get this restraining order tells me why now I know why you don't get it. Why you don't see that there was a problem with how Richard Allen was convicted. These are my receipts on now I know why you feel and think the way you do, because you're clueless. You're absolutely clueless. And you just keep misinforming people on a 3,000 person channel. Very much like Nancy Grace does daily. All right, here we go. So I also believe, Lauren is attempting to use this action to further this goal. Through this action, Lauren had me removed from CrimeCon in Denver, Colorado on the weekend starting Friday, September 5th, 2025. I purchased my ticket in June of 2024. I would be one irate bitch for approximately $1,800. VIP ticket. She was one of the VIPs. Paid $1,800. Lauren knew this. Dude, Lauren, you are a petty. You are so petty. You are so jealous, envious, petty, paranoid. This is sick. Lauren should have to pay her $1,800, but she's missing out on the experience of it and what she went through. I would be suing for all of that. So I would want 20 G's. Yeah, I would want 20 G's to let it go. Otherwise, I want a damn jury trial. I want a damn jury trial. Oh, man. And put a couple poor people on my jury. Wow. At the time, I was regularly in communication with friends with Lauren. She was aware that I purchased the ticket, and she had no plans to attend. As recently as, CrimeCon could actually vouch for this. You could subpoena CrimeCon and see when her ticket was purchased and know exactly when she purchased her ticket. You want to prove a case. I would be hitting up CrimeCon, and here you go. Here's a subpoena. Let me get them records, baby. Let me see when that card transaction happened that we had. Everybody had to, buy those tickets online. Because maybe there's not even a record that she bought a ticket and then it was Hendrix that gave her a ticket, and wouldn't that be some icing on a nice cherry pie? Wow. As recently as June of 2025, Blank overheard Grayson tell a friend that Lauren said that she did not have plans to attend CrimeCon. Unbeknownst to me, blank, blank, and blank, Lauren's changed her mind and attended CrimeCon knowing that I would be in attendance with blank, blank, and blank. Oh my God. Told y'all. Oh, pity party. I learned later that Lauren announced her plans publicly on a live stream. A video of the announcement is expected to be offered in my defense. What's the date on that? Lauren was not a speaker and did not have a booth at CrimeCon. No wonder she was posting like crazy on her channel when she was there. She purchased a day pass, and CrimeCon was not a work event for Lauren, as she stated in her second declaration. It was not. It wasn't a work event. I arrived in Denver for CrimeCon and checked into the hotel on September 3rd. Oh my goodness. A lot of people do this. You know, who wants to go to something just for like 2 days, especially if it's like a further cross country trip? I mean, let me just tell you, if I would have been in this girl's shoes, I would have been rolling flailing, and I would have said, you need to arrest me because I'm not leaving. I want to see you violate my rights. I dare you to arrest me. Violate them. Come on. Violate my civil rights. Let's go. Because the moment that you violate my civil rights, it's on. And now I'm coming for the goddamn city and the county. I bet you that officer thinks twice, makes that call. But she was removed, so it was violating her rights. The police removed her. Lauren was not a speaker and did not have a booth at CrimeCon. She purchased a day pass, and CrimeCon was not a work event. I arrived on the 3rd. I can't believe that. On September 5th, so there was no issue September 3rd, 4th. But then on the 5th, I was headed to one of the CrimeCon panels and was approached by the police. Dude, that's embarrassing. Now this, to me, is distress. The police gave me the temporary injunction and told to remain in the hotel and not attend any of the CrimeCon events. Dude, that place is way bigger than 500 feet. These officers abusing their. The police told me specifically where I could and could not go. The police explained to me that I was permitted to remain in the hotel and access all areas of the hotel. Yeah, because they wanted to keep your money. The hotel wanted to keep all that cheddar. Yeah. Except that I was not allowed to go beyond the designated CrimeCon signage or into CrimeCon events. I asked about the hotel bar, and they told me that I could be there so long as it was not the CrimeCon convention, and I was not approaching within 500 feet of Lauren. The audio of this conversation is expected to be offered in my defense as Exhibit D10. Good job, Christina. That night, I was in the hotel bar taking picture for blank of her employer. Prior to arriving at the bar, one of my friends confirmed that Lauren was not in the bar. After being in the bar for several hours, oh my God, I love it. Christina, me and you, girl, we having drinks, baby. My type of girl, hours. Yeah, girl. I immediately wrapped up what I was doing and left. Oh, girl, we wouldn't have left, honey. We would have sat and I would have ordered us a round of shots. And I would have gotten her one. I would have been like, what, now shots is a threat? Come on now. Sidebar. Meet me at the sidebar. It's going down. I did not intentionally stand close to her or Grayson as Lauren alleged in the second declaration. Rather, they entered my space. On September 6, 2025, I was again in the bar in the hotel's restaurant when Lauren appeared because she, quote unquote, wanted to come to the bar. She called the police and had me removed from the bar. Are you kidding me? Dude, you are a baby. Not only are you so wrong, okay, you are petty. And that's why I wanted to title. I was working on a documentary of my own case. And it was called, Pretty Petty and Perjury. and I want to talk about all these housewives that their husbands need to get fucking leashes on them, okay? Because while they're out working and cheating on them, their housewives are acting like straight pig whores in the true crime community. So, yeah, start paying attention to your wives, okay? Sounds like Lauren is stalking her. Yeah, she's going everywhere that she's going. This is crazy. Lauren, I want to go to the bar and get a martini. During my conversation with the police, Lauren and Grayson walked right by us, which is inconsistent with her claim that she was afraid of me. In other words, after serving me an order that prevented me from being within 500 feet of her, Lauren purposely entered that space to force an encounter, just as she had done the prior day, and to blank following the cease and desist letter. On September 7th, 2025, I was having lunch in one of the hotel restaurants. I left with another individual, blank, and walked across the center courtyard between restaurants. I saw Lauren and immediately left the area with blank. At no point did I attempt to approach or communicate with Lauren. The same weekend as CrimeCon, I posted 3 videos that I had created long before receiving the temporary injunction. The videos are not posted to a targeted account as Lauren claims, nor were they directed at Lauren and were not threatening, defamatory, or harassing. I did not believe the injunctions restricted my ability to post public commentary. Good job, Christina. We stand with you. I stand with you. I let everybody believe what they want to believe. Yeah, this is complete trash behavior. I have never threatened or caused anyone to threaten Lauren, her husband, or her coworkers. During the time that I was friends with Lauren, I observed and learned many things about Lauren's mental and emotional health. I personally observed signs that Lauren was anxious, depressed, and otherwise mentally and emotionally unwell. This leads to me, or this leads me to question many of the statements Lauren makes regarding her mental and emotional health in Lauren's declaration, or at a minimum, the cause of the mental and emotional health problems. Similarly, the Grayson declaration claims that Grayson needed anxiety medication to manage the effects I was causing, when I know from personal interactions with Grayson that she had received mental health treatment, including medication, well before the issues alleged in the declaration. Now, that is just absolutely wow. Somebody using their past mental health trauma, illnesses, whatever, and saying that they need, and lying about that, and making it seem like it's this situation that caused that. These are 2 peas in a pod waiting to literally explode. All of this was brought on by themselves. None of this, or none of it's true. Wow. I did not cause, nor is it reasonable for Lauren or Grayson to claim I caused any of the issues they allege simply by A, exercising my freedom of speech, and B, addressing the public about matters of public interest. I am not obsessed with Lauren, as she claims. Oh my God, that's the statement that Unmasked would use over and over, that Lana is just so obsessed. Obsessed with what? No talent hoes? No, thank you. There's nothing to be obsessed about. I just put a hoe in check. You know, tisk, tisk. You know, I just got to play a little bit of that hoe. Lizzie, yo! The truth hurts. The truth hurts, baby. could have had a bad bitch, non-committal. That's one of the best rap lyrics ever. Don't worry, you may not. I probably have to cut that out when I do the editing at the end, but truth hurts, baby. Let's continue. I am not obsessed. Why are you so obsessed with me? Lying that you sexing me. I have simply responded exactly when she has involved me or when she has made false or misleading public statements. I believe that Lauren is singularly fixated on preventing me from engaging in public discourse regarding any information about or even related to her, Lauren, that Lauren deems hurtful or harmful. Usually when things aren't true, people like don't make a big deal about it, you know? When people start making a big deal about something, we should probably look and see why they're making a big deal. Why would Lauren be so concerned about a 100-person TikTok channel that was saying stuff that's just what? I guess now it has like 1,000 people that tune into TikTok. God, if her husband has all this like doctorate and whatever, she's not learning anything from her approach with this. She just outs herself left and right. None of my public posts show her face, use her name, or encourage others to contact her. Well, guess what? Mine did. I express my opinions on matters of public concern and of interest to my subscribers, followers, and friends. Lauren and Grayson have both engaged in conduct towards me, blank, blank, and others that strongly contradicts their testimony, such as reaching out to me by phone and taking purposeful steps to put herself in the same location, in physical proximity with us. Lauren's public posts also contradict her and Grayson's testimony that Lauren and Grayson have experienced fear or emotional distress. For example, while the Lauren declarations state that she was incapacitated by fear for months. Oh my God, I know, right? That's what I said. Yet she just continues to just march to the same beat. She was actively creating, publishing, and promoting content on podcasts and social media during that same period. And guess what the person that tried to say this about me did? She just ceased doing anything, okay? And saying that she couldn't because of me. And I'm like, nah, bitch, nobody was showing up. Who wants to go take live to a microphone and when you can't handle catching all the slack in chat, when people are like, you're a fraud, you're this, you're that. They have questions for you. So the person that claimed that she lied to the courts and she said that she wasn't able to make content because of me. And I said, well, that's funny. Don't you have a Patreon? And you're doing your stuff in Patreon, which is like you lied to the courts. She lied about everything. And Lauren continuing to, just do her work. Like as she says, we just continue to do. She says it. It's crazy. But yeah, no. The person didn't want to go live because they were getting 40 people in chat. That's why. Which, yeah. Liars. Good job, Christina. Way to talk about that. That's really important. That's really important. You didn't stop anything. It's a lie. She was still, promoting content on podcasts and social media and then she's going on other people's channels. She just went on duty wrong. I mean, Jesus. You know what, Lauren? I would love to have you on my channel. And then if whatever I have wrong, you said, hey, nobody comes to you and asks me any questions. You know what? It's only fair, Lauren. Whatever in here is wrong, come correct it. But bring receipts. Okay? Your word isn't going to cut it. Okay. Bring receipts. Oh, and how about this? Bring the ex parte. If you didn't say any lies to get this in the first place, you have the ex parte, you have the audio. Bring the audio and let's press play. And let's listen to the audio of what you said to the courts in order to get this. Oopsies. Okay, so Lauren has published live content over 100 times since April. Oh my god, over 100 times. Oh my goodness, since April 9th. She has posted hundreds of pre-recorded videos and or podcast episodes during the same time period across various platforms she uses. On July 6th, ooh, daddy. On July 6th, Lauren and her husband posted a hidden true crime podcast episode called Cults and Conformity. What? In which she discusses a variety of topics, including interpersonal relationships, the nature of cults and communities, family dynamics, conformity, cyberbullying, and AI regulation. Multiple times in the episode, Lauren mentions how she has always liked chaos, though not necessarily the kind of chaos that hurts people. What? This is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. What the fuck are you talking about, Lauren? Lauren also described how she does not like conformity. Are she insane? That's all she does is conform. Lauren, are you a swinger? I just have a question. If you don't like to conform to the, are you a swinger? And for that reason, many people do not like her. What? Oh my God. She's absolutely delusional. Absolutely is fucking delusional. Okay. I got a whole damn file on you, Lauren. Lauren, I have a question. This is from Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. Hi, Lauren. I have a question. What the fuck is this, girl? Lauren, is this you? She was made to appear crazy by the very man who drove her crazy. Okay. Moving on. Lauren, the Delphi narrative, literally you drank it like you were gargling it like soup. Well, like you were sick. Okay. You drink the Kool-Aid. I have not seen you go against any grain of a narrative coming from any type of prosecutorial cops, nothing, government, nothing. You say yes, ma'am, or yes, sir, faster than a rabbit working on a Saturday night at 10 p.m. in the bedroom. You say yes faster than the rabbit moves. If you know, you know. So, conformity. Wow, Lauren. Wow. Huh. Lauren's husband casually mentioned that their company had experienced growing pains due to negative interactions with the public. The episode contains no indication that Lauren was afraid, distressed, or panicking, which directly contradicts Lauren and Grayson's testimony that they were unable to function in daily life and that this situation has persisted for 4 months. It also contradicts Grayson's testimony that Lauren's husband, a licensed psychologist, purportedly the very next morning confided in Grayson that Lauren was suicidal. What? And rocking in bed just hours after posting the video? Is this for real? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Around the same time, Lauren also appeared on an episode of the Mormon Stories podcast where she shared her thoughts and personal details about her life. Again, this contradicts Lauren and Grayson's testimony that she was living in fear and unable to function. Instead, it illustrates how Lauren is using this proceeding to attempt to quash legitimate public discourse on topics and issues that she has spoken out about in various media. More recently, on August 2nd, 2025, Lauren appeared on the Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo podcast, where she announced that she would attend CrimeCon. Oh my God, August 2nd. That is a month before the, how did she even get a ticket? Weren't they sold out? Now, this is where Lana's detective work comes in. There is no way she got a ticket for this. And there's no way that she got a hotel at the actual place. All the rooms were sold out. So how did Lauren get a ticket to CrimeCon in August? How did Lauren get a hotel room at CrimeCon? Where was she staying? Who was she staying with? They were sold out. I'd be looking into that. Did she not even stay at the Gaylord? To date, the episode has over 12,000 views and approximately 250 comments. Well, guess what the episode that was 9 hours has? 400,000 views. Sweetheart B Vixen says, yes. I appreciate that comment. I'm going to go through our comments here in a second. Finding this channel was the best thing to come out of this situation, in my opinion. That is bell worthy. Lana is giving away so much free game. Yeah, that I do. Linda, thank you so much. Lana train coming through. Toot toot, bitches. Love it. Thank you. Lydia. Did I say Linda? Sorry, it's Lydia. Lydia Unhinged. What a name. Be careful with it. Gifted 1 Truth and Transparency membership. Kelly, we love you over here. You're a sweetheart. Esther, $4.99. Thank you. Mr. Tardy and that blue ranch never looked so good. Thanks, buddy. And thank you for always modding. Donna Martin, graduate. Love it. Super sticker, $4. Thank you so much. Donna did a back-to-backer. I love a good back-to-backer. Thank you so much, Donna. $5. Oh, Donna did a triple banger. Donna's like, I'm game, girl. Thanks for your hard work. You're very welcome. Donna. Oh my God, Donna. Donna, because I can't stand it when people lie. Isn't it the most ridiculous shit? And then the people that literally drink the lies, I just size you up. I'm like, yeah, you're a total flake. But trust me, the cream will always rise to the top. But some people, I just know that sports conditioned me for this. Never knew I'd have to ever deal with it, but my sports background conditioned me for this. Like I said, I'll take on anybody, anywhere. You want to talk true crime? You want to talk a case that I'm actually covering? I'll blow you the fuck out of the water. Lana, I'm stalking you so I can send you money. What did one pickle say to the other? Deal with it. Oh my God. You know about what the pickles are? You guys, I was eating pickles on a live stream when that judge was like, yeah, Lana was just flipping her hair around and eating pickles. Yeah, it's so threatening, isn't it, Magistrate Russell? Unbelievable. When Magistrate's admitting that she was Googling me and watching my videos before hearing my TPO case. So fucking not allowed. William Tardy coming in with the wrench again. Donna just throwing up hearts. Hearts, you heard it. Janet says, sounds like Lauren needs to sit on John's couch or his dick. William Tardy says, Lana, I got that blue wrench, baby. Crime Time says for $19.99. That's just it. Josie's on a vacation. Is it Josie, right? Been listening off and on. No way in hell I'm listening to a 9-hour rant. Can someone sum this crap up and tell me who's right and who is milking it? Time is of the essence. Thank you. Well, I figured I would just come with the declarations and then the court proceeding. And I think it's clear to say that Lauren was just using the stalking statute for not stalking and in a way to silence Christina. And I think that that's a problem. And to go on a 9-hour live and make up all this stuff of, wow, 9 hours. I think everybody can see why this did not go to the next day hearing, because that's when Lauren was going to have to take the stand. Thank you so much there, Josie. Sweetheart, be mixing $5 thing for a second. Thank you. And then Lauren's Mick eyebrows. See, for me, guys, I try to say, hey, we won't ever have to, let's just attack the argument. Her argument fails. Her arguments are shit. And, you know, to each their own, if whatever they want to do with their hair, their vag, I don't give a shit. But what you're going to do with your mouth and what you're going to do with your hand to write something, I have a problem with. Again, I'm going to speak on that. I'll let TMZ talk about your flaws of your appearance, but for me, this is absolutely crazy. Lauren, you're a liar. You lied. You lied. You lied. You lied. It's like mom and dad in the car, your brothers and sisters in the back seat, and you lied to mom and dad about what took place in the back seat so that they would go and be grounded and you would just enjoy, you know, I don't know, going swimming at the hotel pool when you guys arrived, you know, on your vacation, and they had to be in timeout. That's who Lauren is. And trust me, you don't begin this activity and begin starting to be this person at the age of whatever she is. This is who you are. You know, this is who she is. This is always who she's been. People don't start showing their spots at 40 or however old she is, 50. I don't fucking know how old she is. And I give Christina so much credit. Like, and all the people that stood by her, and I'm going to read these next declarations because I just give you guys so much credit. This is never the easy, this isn't the easy road. Lauren had the people. Lauren has a 300,000 person channel. Okay. And there's people in the industry that saw what happened and they were like, this is crazy. And I just commend those people. I'll go in the order that the two witnesses went in. So really quick, these are really short. So this person, obviously they're over the age of 18. I have reviewed the allegations in the declaration of Grayson and in Lauren's. So they swore under the penalties of perjury, all that stuff. And the background is I met Christina in April of 2024. So the J girl says I met Christina in 2024. All right. I have known Lauren for many years, but we have never been friends. And now I just want to give props. This is the girl that dressed up as Lori Daybell outside of the fucking courthouse. If I can get a picture of that, she nuts it. Like, literally, you need to be it for Halloween, girl. Amazing. Amazing. And by the way, Christina or any of these witnesses, you have a platform here if you want to come, say whatever. Yeah, freedom of speech, baby. Woo. So, since April of 2024, I have attended various events that blank and so the respondent and Lauren have attended, including court proceedings, press conferences, other things like that. I attended the Lori Daybell trial in Maricopa County, the Arizona one, in April of 2025. On or about April 9th of 2025, I learned of a conversation between blank and Lauren. So the respondent and Lauren. Respondent appeared upset, but Lauren did not appear anxious or fearful. On April 11th, 2025, I learned that Lauren sent the respondent a cease and desist letter, which made various accusations against this person and demanded that she cease speaking publicly about her. On April 15th, 2025, I tried to talk to Lauren about the statements. Fearing that Lauren would misrepresent the conversation, I attempted to record it. Lauren approached me while recording me and asked if I was recording her. This is that video outside the courthouse when she's like, "Are you recording me? Don't record me. Don't record me." She later submitted the video to the Boise Police Department. Oh my God. Lauren became emotional and ran into the courthouse claiming that I was threatening her and bullying her. She then reemerged and continued filming me repeating that I was threatening and bullying her. So then she comes back outside and then she does all this crap. Jesus. I was not threatening or bullying her. Following this encounter, one or more bailiffs approached me about the incident. They told me that Lauren claimed that she felt threatened and asked if I felt threatened by her. The bailiffs did not remove me from the courthouse or otherwise restrict me. They merely encouraged me to not talk to her. I immediately thereafter, Grayson followed me into the bathroom and approached me various other times. Grayson, you went into the bathroom? Oh, God. Bathroom? That's off limits, man. Let me take my pee in peace, baby. This is consistent with many instances where Lauren and or Grayson have made allegations against me, blank, and others only to enter our personal space and attempt to provoke a confrontation. This conduct and pattern persisted throughout April, June, and any time that we saw Lauren or Grayson. For example, at the Daybell trial on June 10th, 2025, I was sitting in the courtroom awaiting witness testimony. During a break, Lauren and Grayson moved up 2 rows to sit directly behind me in the courtroom. You guys, I'm telling you, I was there in Delphi, and Lauren is coloring. Lauren is coloring during testimony. Grayson's writing, crazy style, because that's what you got to do if you're trying to get everything. Well, Lauren is coloring. She is coloring and drawing some type of picture of the witness box, and she's coloring during the DNA testimony. The most important part, in my opinion, in that case was everything to do with the DNA. There was no DNA of Richard Allen anywhere at that scene, but there was 5, 6, 7 unknown male, female profiles. Lauren is coloring, Grayson's writing, and then we believe we caught Lauren. Again, this is just our opinion. Copying off of Bella's paper. She's copying off of her notes. It's like, dude, we'll just give you them because we'd rather have you have our notes and tell that to your subscriber count versus your version of whatever. I mean, we're writing down what the people are saying. Like we're trying to like we're trying to transcribe here. And it was the way that we were tag team and some of the stuff. It was like I would write everything that the one person was writing, like if it was like the prosecutor questioning, and you write everything that they're saying the answers to. And if we go like that and then we merge them, we're able to get like, dude, pretty accurate shit. And then there'd be times if I was just doing it myself, I'd have to do both. And these two, they're like mingling. Like I'm just watching like Lawyer Lee intently watch, Andrea intently watch. You know, this wasn't a mingling. Like we weren't, I wasn't there to mingle. I wasn't there to hang out with friends. Like it was just, you could see the difference. I don't know. But I will say that I thought that Lauren and Grayson, they were really ethical with, I felt what I witnessed was like the whole line situation. At the different times that I physically could witness something, I felt that they were ethical in the line stuff because that was a big ordeal in Delphi. Unlike some mainstream meteors out there and some local news people who I just straight up put on blast and put like, look at this shit, look at them. So yeah. Yeah, I just call it as I see it. Like I thought, and I've always said, hey, me and Lauren have difference of opinions on stuff, but I always said, hey, she's boots on the ground. She's going out. She's traveling all over the place. Okay. And even I'll say that about JLR. I love JLR. I completely disagree with so much shit, but you can't knock people and not respect them for their hustle, their work ethic, just because they have their opinion and it differs from mine. That shouldn't change my outlook on how hard they work or that, you know, from the surface standpoint. And then you should have that like unbiased approach with everything. Like if Lauren goes out and does something amazing in a case, let's say a month from now, I would speak on how great whatever she did. This, like, it's just separate. It's, hey, way to go redeem yourself, because you know, it's just, yeah. I wouldn't go making up things about Lauren that weren't true just because she went and did this. You know, that makes me no better. In fact, I'd be the same. So here we have Lauren attempts multiple times to spark a conversation with me in Boise. So the J witness, I attended portions of the Brian Colbert sentencing in Boise, Idaho. Okay, the week of July 21st, 2025. Brian Colbert. Okay. To think that if this would have went to trial, I would have been around all of this. Guys, I would have been like, this is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. What the fuck are y'all doing? Knock this shit out. Like, bye. Wow. No way. No way. No. Mm-mm. This wouldn't have lied. I attended him. So, hey, Lauren's continued her unusual and concerning conduct in two main episodes that occurred on July 23rd, 2025. So on July 23rd, 2025, I attended a press conference along with blank and blank. So that's the press conference. I know this date really well. And she said, blank and blank saved me a seat. And when I returned from the restroom, I learned that Lauren and Grayson had yet again attempted to speak to blank despite the cease and desist. So she wants somebody to cease and desist, but yet you're coming, you know. By the time I arrived, Lauren and Grayson had crossed to the other side of the venue and were seated. Then, for no apparent reason, Lauren sent Grayson back across to our side of the venue. Oh my gosh. I wonder if there's camera stuff of this. If they were waiting in the room for that, I bet you this is on camera. I bet you they could probably do a FOIA request from Ada County and have the camera pulled from that room. Maybe I'll just go and do it. All of us would be on camera. This is ridiculous. Grayson came and stood in front of me and next to my friends who were seated on that row. I took a video of Grayson standing next to us, but I did not put a camera in her face as she claims. A picture showing my position in relation to Grayson is expected to be submitted for Blank's defense as Exhibit D11. Later that night, I went with Blank, and others to Blank's favorite restaurant in Boise. Oh, God. Where was that at? I was going to be a regular there for 3 months. It would have been like all kicking it. We dined for approximately 2 hours before leaving to go get dessert at a different restaurant across the street. After I exited the restaurant, I learned that Lauren and Grayson had arrived at the restaurant and positioned themselves in the outside dining area near the exit. Given that Lauren and Grayson's position, there was no way to exit the restaurant without passing right by them. Blank began briefly speaking or spoke to and expressed her view that it was inappropriate for her to continue to try to contact or provoke an encounter with Blank given the cease and desist. We then crossed the street for dessert as previously planned. At no point did we attempt to further engage with Lauren. Crazy ass. Nevertheless, Lauren called the police and accused us of stalking her. Are you kidding me? Wow. I spoke to an officer, explained the situation, and the investigation is now closed. I have received a copy of the Boise Police Department report. It's known as the report. I have provided the report for use in Blank's defense as Exhibit D12. I also received a number of videos that Lauren submitted as evidence of her claims. These include some of Blank's public posts, even though Blank was not present in Boise, which would be, they're saying that Christina was not there, as well as videos of the courthouse incident described above and the incident in Boise. In the report, the officer stated that Lauren provided the officer with videos of 2 different instances, including the incident at Bitter Creek Ale House. I did not see any intimidating or threatening behavior in the videos. Well, I would also be hitting up Bitter Ale Sweet House and asking them, oh, you have that? Do you have that? Is that? Let's see how it looks. That's Grayson in the sweatshirt that has the stripes. And Lauren's sitting down, so she's like standing in front of her. You can just have it. Thanks. There you go. Yeah. So, but I'd be hitting up the Bitter. I bet you they have some camera. I would just be hitting them up and asking them for their camera. I bet you they still have it. Like at my bar when I had a restaurant, this is how many months ago. I could go back 6 months, and that was a while ago. So they should be able to go back and get this if they want it. I'd go and try to get that video. All right, this is the police report, guys, but hang on, I want to get through this. I shut it down. Up. Okay. Let me go back. Okay. Whew. In the report, the officer stated that Lauren provided me with videos of 2 different incidents, including the incidents at Bitter Creek Ale House. I did not see any intimidating or threatening behavior in the videos. 41. Blank was not with us during her time there. The incident was in Boise, face out of the country. Blank did not suggest, ask, or otherwise prompt us to interact with Lauren at any of these events following the cease and desist. Rather, it was Lauren and or Grayson that initiated the contact. Okay. Jesus, this is ridiculous. Here's the police report. On the above date and time, I was working as a sergeant for the Boise Department in full uniform and in a marked patrol vehicle. While working, I self-assigned to a harassment call at Bitter Creek Ale House, located at 246 North 8th Street. When I arrived, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to call them right now and ask them how long they have their cameras for. We're going to make a phone call. We're going to get in front of this real quick. Okay.
Bitter Creek, how can I help you?
Oh, hi. Is this the Ale House?
Bitter Creek Ale House, yeah.
Yeah, I just have a question. How if I wanted to see, do you guys have your cameras? If I had police come over to the restaurant, how far do your cameras go back for me to document an incident for a report?
That would be something I do not know about. If you want to hold on a second, I can get an manager.
Yeah, I just want to. Yeah, that'd be great because I'm looking to see how far back it goes. That's great. Thank you. I'll wait.
Yep.
Thanks. Welcome to Truth and Transparency, man.
Hello, this is Haley.
Oh, hey, Haley. Just really quick. I just had a quick question. How long do you guys store your video? If I had to have like a police officer come down to the establishment for a report, are you like, do you guys have your surveillance cameras for like, do you know how long back I could go?
They usually go back pretty far. It just kind of depends. Do you know like whereabouts in the restaurant? Because we do have some like weird blind spots.
Okay, yeah, it was like,
for?
yeah, it was right outside on the outside like portion, and it was right by the
In the front.
yeah, it was right by the entrance. So like that door that kind of goes through to like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure. Like, were you inside the restaurant or outside the restaurant at that point?
Well, we were inside, but it was like you go like inside, then you have to like walk outside to go to that out part.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you are more than welcome to do that. I can. I'll have to ask the owners. They're the ones that have access to the cameras and things like that. So if a police officer does come down here, we can take a look. I can't promise that it would be on there, but
yeah, that's cool. But I could
try and look.
Yeah, that's all I needed to know is that if it could go back. And I was just curious how far you guys went back. But you think
Yeah, I'm pretty. How long are you?
Well, what's
like,
today's
how long
date? It
ago?
was at the beginning of September, so that's why I was like ours here we have like 3 months. That's why I was like, maybe you guys would have it still.
I think we might be able to find it.
Okay, cool.
That shouldn't be too long. We have to go back and look sometimes too. So
Okay, awesome. Well, then I'm gonna have them give you a call, and we'll see if we can get it for the date and time. Thank you so much, Haley.
Sounds good.
You've been so helpful. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, bye, hon. Yeah, I figured that they had it. They have it. Okay. There you guys go. Go get the camera footage. It's there. And it's not in a blocked area, so there we go. Okay. I'm happy to provide documentation of this. You know, some of those cameras also, they'll record your audio. And let's say that there's audio recorded of Grayson and Lauren conspiring. Civil conspiracy is a thing. Conspiring on how to call the police and fake document, because we only got to see that little recording piece when Lauren's over here with her camera. Go ahead, cry, Grayson. Okay, thanks. Well, let's see if the material could have been possibly captured by the camera inside. And if it's a newer camera, they may have some audio. And if there's some conspiring on how to approach and, hey, we're going to do this police report here. Well, that's how you build a case to go the opposite way, which is, well, now I'm going to sue you, because that's what you should have done in the first place, not go and get a stalking thing. If you think that I'm putting stuff out on a channel and I'm defaming you, you don't go get a stalking injunction. If I'm interfering in contractual relationships, again, you don't go get a stalking injunction. Come and sue me. So, let's go back here. Okay. So this is this report, and he says that, he's working, and blank advised me that a group of females she is familiar with followed her to the Bitter Creek Ale House. Followed her. Holy shit. So right here. If that's not true, that's a problem, and confronted her. Blank advised that this group of females has been harassing her, creating TikToks about her, and bullying her since April of 2025. Jeez, Lauren, what have you done? What have you done, girl? This better be true. Blank advised that she used to work with a female named Blank. Blank was her producer, and last year they split ways. When they split ways, Blank made a comment that Blank was a bully. According to Blank, since that time, Blank and her friends have been harassing her. Blank said that they are making TikToks about her, cyberbullying her, and contacting her in various locations. She advised it on April 9th. She's giving a timeline. She's giving a timeline to this. You wouldn't have to say any of this. Okay, let me explain something. You don't tell the officers about something that happened on the 9th or in April. Or if something is happening to you right then and there, you just tell them that situation on what's happening. She is trying to create this, she's systematically and individually creating a pattern, okay, on her own through using, hey, I'm going to tell you all this because I want it in a police report. Unbelievable. Because then she's going to go use this police report to go get her injunction that she went and received at the end of August, beginning of September. Pretty much at 4 a.m. Let me tell you what happened. Okay. Geez. Wow, Lauren. Wow, girl. Let me just tell you what happened on these days. April 9th, this is what happened. We know April 15th, Jay approached Blank to speak with her at the courthouse in Arizona. Blank advised Jay that she did not want to talk to her due to her actions. Blank was concerned enough that she advised the bailiff at the courthouse of Blank's actions. The bailiff at that time contacted this person and advised her not to speak with Blank any further. Blank said that after that contact that was made, more TikToks talks about her have even made comments that Blank wanted to, what? Jesus, I'm not even, that is just, whoa. Jesus. Are her own brother. Blank said that everywhere she goes, they will videotape her and harass her. Advised that it got bad enough that she sent her the cease and desist letter. God, what have you done, Lauren? What have you done? I'll read some of this. Wow. Great job, Lauren. On July 23rd, 2025, Blank arrived at the Coburger. God, they can't even spell Coburger right. I don't even know. Coburger trial sentence When she arrived, several of these females, including Lindsay, were also present. Due to the small amount of seating, Blank attempted to find a seat, and the only seats that were available were close to Lindsay. She asked Lindsay if she could sit near her, at which time Janessa, who is a friend of Lindsay's, told her to stop speaking to Lindsay because she already sent her a cease and desist letter. Oh my God. Back up, bitch. Oh my God, Coburger. Later in the evening, around 11 p.m., Blank was at the Bitter Creek Ale House. At this time, she was having dinner with her new producer. At 11? Damn. Blank, while they were there, they noticed that Janessa was filming them from outside of the restaurant, and she flipped them off. Yeah. What the fuck is going? Wait, Lauren said I was having dinner at 11 with my new producer, who's Grayson. Okay, while they were there they went back there. God, while they're at the ale house, Janessa was filming them outside from the restaurant, and she flipped them off. So Janessa flipped off Lauren. Lauren felt uncomfortable because of the bird. The bird looked a little helpless. Oh, God. Lauren felt uncomfortable, so she began filming as well. They're having a film off. Fuck you, Diddy. Fuck your freak up. We got your film off. Well, no, because Lauren starts recording. So Janessa's recording Lauren. Lauren says, she flipped me off, okay? And then Lauren's like, I'm in fear for my life. I'm going to start recording. And so we're having a film off, you guys, at the freaking poor place over here. Bitter Creek Ale House is like, God damn. You guys are like worse than a bunch of lesbians, okay? I can't. Yeah, no, I can. This has Vanessa all over it. She's probably friends with Beck and Lauren. They were then contacted by blank and blank, who came up from behind them. God, it sounds like a sexual position. According to blank and blank started yelling at them and was trying to intimidate them. She was seen speaking with them about the many conversations they've had over the last month. Eventually, the waiter came over and asked blank and blank to leave. They walked away and they went across the street to a restaurant and stayed there for approximately an hour. How would you know this? I wouldn't know any of this. At 11 o'clock, I'd be feeling pretty good. I'd be like, who are these people? Blank believed that they were staying there so that they could be confronted, so that they could confront them when they left the restaurant. You're telling me that recording of Grayson is after 11 p.m.? I want a timestamp on that. I know that, but I want a timestamp. I want metadata on the Grayson video of her crying in the restaurant, talking about this is how people get murdered or some shit. At that time, she called the police department because she felt uncomfortable and wanted an escort to her vehicle. Oh, my God. I also spoke with Blank. She advised me that that was aware of the situation, that they had also been filmed at the Kohlberger trial. You guys, this is the way the guy that writes Kohlberger. I have to show you guys. At the Kohlberger. This is in Ada County, and this officer does not know how to write. We want him, Coburg. They were at the Coburg trial. You guys, we need this officer on the jury. He don't know shit. We need him on the jury. Coburg. Mr. Coburg here. That son of a bitch, Mr. Coburg. All right. She said that Janessa was filming her and putting a camera close to her face at the trial. Lauren was concerned by this action, but ignored her. Lauren noticed that Janessa was filming her and blank while they were sitting at the restaurant, and then also advised that blank and blank spoke with them. She also advised that the females were sitting across the street at a restaurant. She was very concerned and fearful for her safety, which is why both her and Grayson decided to call the police department. When I looked at blank, I could see that her face was flushed and she was shaking slightly. Oh my God. Shut the fuck up. Oh God, this is some acting right here. I know. She was also darting her eyes around 8th Street trying to look for this group of women. Oh, thank you. Oh boy. Wow. I was able to contact 3 of the subjects that blank spoke to me about. One of them was blank and was Janessa, and one was blank. Blank said that blank had been talking shit about her husband. Blank is talking shit about my husband. Oh my God. Wait a second. Yeah. I can't believe that you talk about my motherfucking husband. That's my boo bae. Okay, well. Talking in quotes, yeah, talking. Yeah. Had been talking shit about her husband, in quotes, back in Arizona. She wanted to speak to her about it, so she contacted blank at the Maricopa County Courthouse. Blank contacted the bailiffs. The bailiffs came and spoke with Janessa. She advised that the bailiff took her side and knew that she was not threatening. Janessa just wanted to speak with blank about her talking badly about her husband. She advised that the bailiffs and her chuckled about the situation, and she was just advised to stay away from blank would be the best course of action. Blank showed me the video of the interaction, and I did not see anything threatening or intimidating about the contact. So Boise's like, yeah, this is crazy. Then Janessa told me that they were at the restaurant before Lauren arrived and that they were eating food. They had been there for approximately 2 hours before Lauren arrived, and she arrived as they were leaving. Was Lauren seeking these people out? Did Lauren know that she was there? Why would Lauren arrive at 11 o'clock at night? Okay, dude, that's pretty late for a mom, man. Just saying. Unless you a bad mom. Bad bitch. Non-committal. Janessa noticed that blank was at the restaurant. However, she did not contact her. She advised that her group did stay in the area, but they had gone across the street to a restaurant to have carrot cake. Fucking carrot cake every time, baby. Oh, that's great. Man, I just had some carrot cake. Shit. She said that they were not staying there to contact Lauren. I also spoke with blank. She advised that she did speak with blank and blank at the restaurant, but only there to speak with them about contacting Lindsay at the courthouse and just wanted to know why they had done it. Like, if you sent out a cease and desist, why are you talking to her? She was not attempting to be confrontational or intimidating. Once they were asked to leave, she left immediately. Blank also advised that it has been blank, Lauren, who has come up to them many times and has attempted to continue to have contact with them. She said it has been back and forth between the subjects and not a one-sided at all. I also spoke with blank, and she said that on this date, she went with blank at the restaurant to speak with blank. Blank was the one who was speaking with blank. I think this is when he was talking to Lindsay and got her side of the story then. Also, they were asked to leave. They left and then went and had dessert across the street. She also reiterated that blank has contacted them several times and that it has been a back and forth conversation, not one-sided. So Lindsay's like, yeah, she's contacted me.
So that was written in the letter, and the contact in the video situation was 9 p.m.
How is that possible?
Because it's probably summer in Idaho.
No, because you're not understanding what I'm saying. Where were they sitting? You're not getting it. I did not have contact. They waited 2 hours to call the police? No, they were summons there at 11. That doesn't matter where they wrote it. It's about when Lauren's saying that she arrived. Lauren's saying that she arrived at that ale place at 11. Maybe he wrote it down wrong. I did not have contact information for blank, and I was not able to make contact with blank. Probably because she was in Europe. Is that what this is about? I also advised all of them that they should no longer have contact with each other. You guys, this is absolutely unfucking believable. What is this written shit? Is this Lauren?
If it's written on the side about flipping off, it's her.
No, this.
Yeah, let me see.
I'm not going to show that. Just take that. That's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. I'm not even going to. Okay, going back to this. I mean, Jesus Christ, Lauren. The fuck? Not committal. You said you ain't a bad bitch. Girl, this is wild shit. I can't, but this has been 3 hours. I gotta go. This is ridiculous, Lauren. God damn you. Let me finish this up here. So, Blank was not with us during either of these instances in Boise and was in fact out of the country. Blank did not suggest, act, or otherwise prompt us to interact with this hoe. I attended CrimeCon, which occurred September 5th through 7th in Denver, Colorado, along with blank, and others. Lauren and Grayson also attended CrimeCon and continued their pattern of trying to provoke a confrontation with me, blank, and others. Jesus, I see it. This is so... It's... 902. I was surprised later when Blank received a temporary restraining order. I am not aware of any attempt that Blank made to contact or otherwise engage with Lauren or Grayson at CrimeCon. Even when Blank was speaking to the police about the order on September 6, 2025, I watched Lauren and Grayson walk right past where they were as they were talking to the police. Lauren claimed in the request for the temporary restraining order that she believed she was in imminent danger, that the respondent and her accomplices were planning another confrontation at CrimeCon. But I have a video from September 6, 2025 showing that Lauren is in a restaurant chatting with someone with Blank and others nearby. Oh, which says that you weren't scared, you just didn't want so-and-so to be there. Lauren, this is ridiculous, Lauren. At no point did I observe Lauren or Grayson experiencing any anxiety or fear. I dispute the allegations regarding Blank's online posts and their alleged impact on Lauren, her husband, or Grayson. It is not clear to me what posts and public comments Lauren and Grayson reference in their declarations. However, I have listened to and or reviewed or viewed a significant amount of the respondents' content, some of which is about Lauren. The content does not threaten, defame, or harass her. We get the gist. Wow. What have you done, Lauren? Okay. Again, thank you so much there, sweetheart B Vixen. Membership land. Shannon Dean says she needs to change her name to Vic Tim. Jesus Christ. Channel name change. Coming in hot. Lottie Dot says thanks for keeping it real and bringing the facts. Yeah. Here's the paperwork. You guys be your own judge, jury, everything. Lottie Dot says $49.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. I mean, we all know, if you're a parent out there and your kid start acting, you tell them both to knock it off. All right. Knock it off. Knock it off in the back seat. Okay. Right? No. Clearly, Lauren's parents never fucking told her to knock it off. Okay? Clearly, Lauren thinks that this behavior is what she should do, is go and lie about her fear, and I'm gonna start a paper trail, and I'm gonna create all of this stuff because I have to get in front of something, not because I'm in fear. No, she knew what those girls knew. She knew. Lauren knew what the girls knew, meaning Lauren told those people stuff. Lauren provided receipts of what she told those people. Okay. And if that shit is to get out, Lauren, yeah, nothing but egg dripping down yo face. And here she was just trying to get in front of this because it's going to come out. It's going to come out. And when it does come out, she was trying to already discredit these people so that when this does make its way out, okay, that it's like, are you going to believe that's from some crazy, obsessed, jealous hoes? Well, yeah, I am. I'm going to believe the receipts. And so now go back to what I said before when The threat and the fear was that if you took screenshots of private conversations and sent them to somebody, that's a crime against a Nevada resident. What? I'm taking screenshots from my own phone with my messages. That's a crime if the person that I'm screenshotting is from Nevada? Why is she so concerned with the screenshots in people's phones that she has with other people? If it was just that you were calling somebody a bitch, hey, I think that person sucks. They annoy me. Screenshot. How horrible. You think that she's did a 9-hour live because of how horrible she said or how annoying that, yep, I called that person annoying. Yep, I told them that they were bothering me. You think she did a 9-hour live and stopped a permanent protection order because of that? Then you're just as delusional as she is. No. That was Janessa's declaration. Lindsay's obviously was the same thing about the whole Boise stuff. No reason to repeat that. And so this has nothing to do, here you can see Lauren. This had nothing to do with Christina. This had nothing to do with anybody but herself in her behavior and what she was doing, and that there's proof and receipts of it. There's CVS receipts out there, okay? And those CVS receipts aren't of Lauren saying and calling people annoying. Those CVS receipts out there, go back to Christina's first and second page of her declaration. It's very clear that it has to do with obtaining confidential information from sources and the means that those were obtained and what the material is. And I'm waiting patiently for myself to say, hey, Lana, how far you want to take this? What do you want to tell the world, Lana? So I think right now here you go. So I document what I do when someone says, hey, you did such and such on a live broadcast on this day. No, I know what I do on my days. There you go, Lauren. But my platform is open to you. If you say none of this is true and by God, our eyes are deceiving us, that's fine. Lauren, you can go out there and talk on any platform you want. The truth is always going to be the truth, though, honey. Okay? There is no your truth, my truth. Shove that fucking language up yo ass. Peace out. Thank you guys so much.